Narrative boxes explain that Prison Day is a game created by evil gods to kill time. Countless souls are trapped by glowing threads while a narrating box explains the game's lethal stakes. 3 players cheer maniacally while holding their cards, hoping to become the final winner.
Floating in space, a man reflects on how the game's true ending is becoming a god.
A text box clarifies that becoming a deity is not the ending the protagonist truly desires.
The strongest player, Rohi, chooses to give up godhood and refuses to join the evil gods.
A text box states that Luo Shi only desires a simple life with family and loved ones.
Flashbacks show a mother's kindness, a brother's gift, and a silver-haired girl asking for a date.
A system notification announces the activation of the S-rank special card Reversal of Time.
Several mystical, glowing cards float against a starry background, representing powerful abilities within the game.
A speech bubble declares his intent to slaughter the evil gods who toy with the world.
A glitchy digital eye stares intently as data fragments float across the glowing blue screen. The hero's resolve hardens as he prepares for a new, thrilling, action-packed journey ahead.
A moment of pause occurs while the credits acknowledge the hands behind the story's translation.
A final disclaimer marks the end of the chapter's introductory information before the story proceeds.
Evil gods created the game Prison Day 20 years ago, bringing both disaster and opportunity to Earth.
A text box explains that humans are randomly forced to participate in stages with varied rules.
A dark silhouette with glowing eyes presents several powerful cards that can change a player's life.
Narrative text explains that losers pay with their lives, remaining trapped in the game forever.
Everyone believes they can defeat the boss and win, though most are tragically mistaken. A narrator reveals that they were the only survivor of the brutal game amidst a graveyard. Floating in space, a man realizes that the ultimate prize is to become a divine being.
Rohi tells the evil gods that he is turning down their offer of godhood.
A giant red eye offers Rohi eternal life and supreme power if he joins them.
The giant eye tells him that as the sole survivor, he alone is qualified to rule.
The giant eye asks if he is certain about giving up the right to become God.
Rohi explains that despite making rational choices to survive, he has lost everything he loved.
Flashbacks revealed the lifeless bodies of his mother, his friends, and the girl he cared for. The giant eye asks Rohi what it is that he truly wants after everything.
Rohi wants his boring daily life back with everyone alive, remembering his mother's warm call.
Memories of family and a date offer appear as Rohi laments their destruction. The giant eye mockingly tells him to watch as his home planet is shattered into pieces.
A glowing yellow card suddenly manifests in his hand, shining with a powerful, intense light.
Rohi dismisses the threat, stating that he will be coming back to the world again. Rohi claims he holds the S-rank card number 005, which even gods cannot control.
He explains that he kept the time reversal card to fix his regrets and save everyone.
A skill effect box details the card's power to reset time and restore original conditions. The giant eye expresses shock that he actually managed to obtain such a powerful card. A faint red glow persists as the surrounding darkness begins to shift and change. A golden system window confirms the activation of the time reversal card effect. Surrounded by golden code, he vows to return and erase the gods with his own hands. Shifting blue digital bars in pixelated numbers fill the screen as reality begins to distort.
Glowing blue blocks in data sequences cascade downwards, signifying the transition of time and space.
A close-up of a blue eye reveals the intense focus of the user during the transition.
The black-haired man bolts upright in a hospital bed, gasping for air after the intense experience.
He stares wide-eyed and sweating, overwhelmed by the sudden change in his immediate surroundings.
Looking at his hands, he expresses shock and disbelief that he has actually returned to the past. He realizes he is in a hospital gown at the Qingshan City Psychiatric Hospital. The black-haired woman looks at him with concern, asking if he is seeing bad things again. The woman holds a bun in her hands, reflecting the mundane reality he fought to regain. His mother leans in close and gently reassures him that she is there.
Rohi reflects on how his mother became a vegetable after he entered the game.
Overwhelmed with emotion, the black-haired man tearfully tells his mother how much he missed her.
The brown-haired woman looks puzzled and mentions she has always been right by his side.
Rohi introduces himself as a psychiatric patient suffering from dissociative identity disorder since childhood. He explains that hearing constant voices in his head has left him hospitalized and alone. A digital display shows the current time as 5:26 in the late afternoon.
Rohi checks his phone and notes that he has 34 minutes until the disaster.
He explains the lethal mechanics of the game and decides to record every clearing strategy.
Rohi focuses on writing his guide, noting that hidden rules make the stages easier.
He prepares 2 copies to ensure both his mother and friend have a survival guide.
His mother tells him to rest and mentions she is going to empty the trash. The door closes behind her as she leaves the room for her brief routine errand.
Rohi recalls how his mother insisted on his treatment despite his father's cold abandonment.
He recounts his father walking out on the family after draining all of their savings.
Despite constant hardship and exhaustion, his mother raised him alone and taught him to learn.
He
He realizes that he actually possessed everything he ever wanted before he lost it all.
Shu Qing enters the hospital room carrying a bag of oranges to visit his friend. The buzzcut man is confused and asks if it has really been such a long time. A narrative box identifies the man with the buzzcut as Zhu Qing, his only friend. Text explains that while other parents avoided him, Shu Qing chose to stay by his side. A flashback shows Zhu Qing bravely defending a younger Ro He from bullies in a bathroom. Ro He laments that his best friend died horribly while trying to help him clear stages. Recalling a tragic death, Ro He vows to never let that kind of tragedy happen again.
Shu Qing asks if he is writing a novel, and Ro He clarifies it is a guide.
Shu Qing is shocked that the doctor is letting him play games despite his medical condition. Shu Qing excitedly compares it to a legendary masterpiece that simply must be played by everyone. Ro He hands him the notebooks and instructs him to give his mother a copy later.
He emphasizes that the guide will be a huge help when a critical moment finally arrives.
Shu Qing agrees to help but privately thinks that his friend is acting very strange today.
Ro He resolves to gather 15 hidden S-rank cards to become the world's strongest player again.
He explains that the S-rank cards hold unique powers that even the gods cannot fully control. With only 1 minute left, Ro He prepares for the inevitable arrival of the lethal game. The black-haired man clenches his fist tightly as he mentally prepares for the coming battle.
Ro He looks at a framed photo of his loved ones as the final seconds pass.
A text box notes that his ordinary daily life is finally about to come to an end. System windows announce his selection as a player and begin the process of extracting his soul. Ro He vows to protect the people he treasures and successfully clear every single game stage. He declares his intent to become the strongest and eventually wipe out the evil gods. A glowing system window officially welcomes the player to the dangerous world of Prison Day. Digital bars cascade down the screen as the system tells the player to enjoy the game.
Ro He manifests in the initial E-rank stage, which the system labels as Slaughter Company.
Red system warnings announce a repeated failure to delete the player's real-world memories during loading. The system notifies him that he can explore while the stage boss is currently being generated.
Ro He observes his surroundings and notes that everything is exactly like his previous life's experience.
He explains that beginners usually lose their memories and believe the game world is their reality. Ro He stands in a large office filled with cubicles, realizing he is in Slaughter Company. Ro He notes that clearing this low-level stage requires killing 3 distinct boss-level monsters. Ro He opens his status panel and sees his level 0 stats and an unidentifiable blessing.
He wonders if his unidentifiable blessing is why he was able to keep all his memories.
Ro He ponders his next move while dismissing a system notification to get some stats. He recalls a hidden side quest in this stage that rewards an important attribute card. Standing up, Ro He notes he has 10 minutes before the stage officially starts at 11. He remembers a voice from his past and realizes he can finally understand its meaning now.
Mysterious silhouettes discuss saving Earth and the necessity of working with a specific person to defeat the evil gods.
The voices suggest that if time resets, they must join him to wipe out the gods, even if their memories are gone.
Ro He wonders if he can gain their power in addition to the 15 S-rank cards.
Putting those thoughts aside for now, the black-haired man walks into a public restroom facility.
Ro He determines he must secure the hidden side quest reward and approaches a stall door. A system notification confirms he has reached a special coordinate for a hidden side quest.
A digital window displays the title of the hidden quest as The Secret Hidden in the Men's Room Stall.
Ro He kicks the door open, determined to clear the quest objective now that the prompt has appeared. A small blue-horned cat monster with glowing red eyes reacts with shock to his sudden entry. A system window identifies the creature as the urban legend monster known as Scaredy Cat. The Scaredy Cat perches atop a small, locked treasure chest while glowing with blue energy. The blue monster growls aggressively at Ro He while crouching defensively over its prize. With glowing red eyes, Ro He threatens to twist the creature's head off if it doesn't leave. The monster recoils in absolute terror at his overwhelming killing intent. The Scaredy Cat flees the restroom in tears as Ro He watches it run away.
A system message confirms the monster's defeat and grants Ro He ownership of the treasure chest.
Ro He explains that the monster is weak and will always run away if sufficiently frightened.
A notification warns that the mysterious treasure chest cannot be opened without a key. Ignoring the system's logic, Ro He uses a powerful kick to smash the wooden chest open.
A golden system window confirms that the mysterious treasure chest has been successfully broken open.
Ro He holds 3 attribute cards, noting that most newbies fail this quest by searching for a key. He thinks this is actually a very efficient quest for anyone who can drop their preconceptions. The system lists his rewards as E-rank cards for stamina, agility, and strength. A close-up view highlights the 3 basic attribute cards he has successfully obtained. Ro He prepares to activate his player stats using the red, blue, and yellow cards.
Glowing with green energy, Ro He commands the cards to activate, increasing his basic attributes by 1. He notes that even a small boost puts him far beyond the capabilities of normal humans.
Ro He's status panel reveals his level 0 stats and a blessing with an unidentifiable effect.
Ro He delivers a powerful punch that shatters the stone wall, testing his newly enhanced strength.
He reflects that his current stats and previous life's experience will make clearing the stage easy.
Rohi vows to protect the world from the giant, multi-eyed entity looming in the cosmos.
Rohi realizes he needs to figure out the power of the voice in his head. A system window reminds him of his unidentifiable blessing.
Looking upward, Rohi demands an answer from the entities who granted him the mysterious blessing.
He laughs to himself, realizing the gods are unlikely to respond to his direct questioning.
A blue voice from the darkness suddenly replies that his answer depends on his own actions. Rohi looks back in surprise as a massive dark silhouette looms over him in the darkness. A single blue character glows against a dark background as the scene shifts.
The voice informs Rohi that they have been watching him for a very long time.
Rohi asks who they are and why they are helping him, but the entities demand he prove his worth first.
The voice tells him to go and fight because his time is almost up.
Rohi resolves to prove himself and obtain their power as a bell rings out.
A system window announces the end of the countdown and the activation of strategy mode. The system welcomes players to Prison Day and identifies the E-rank stage as Slaughter Company. A red warning window states that leaving a workstation results in failure as the countdown begins.
Rohi sprints through the office, confident his agility stat will allow him to reach safety.
A red-haired man and his companion express their hatred for games and threaten to leave. As the countdown hits 0, the two rule breakers' heads explode while Rohi ducks for cover. He thinks that there is always some idiot who can't read the situation.
Terrified survivors scream as blood splatters the room, realizing the lethal game is truly real.
Rohi coldly observes that failing to follow the rules results in a very fast death.
Survivors panic as the main entrance is sealed behind a red digital barrier. The system warns that the E-rank boss cleaning crew is appearing and commands players to find weapons. Survivors scream in despair at the unfairness of the game.
Rohi watches as the first boss appears, noting that the condition to clear this stage is defeating every boss.
The glowing green monsters approach as their leader declares it is time to start cleaning up the human trash. A system window displays the stats of the cleaning captain boss who uses a steel broom and a sharp dustpan. The profile for the level 1 cleaning worker highlights its cleaning mastery skill, which increases strength when using tools. A purple-haired man looks at the muscular survivor who dismisses the boss as a weak E-rank monster.
The buzzcut man tells the survivors not to be scared because he will defeat the boss and save everyone. Rohi warns the man not to act rashly because these monsters cannot be judged with normal human logic.
The black-haired man notes that normal humans cannot handle level 1 monsters whose stats are higher than 0. The muscular man tells Rohi to be quiet, claiming the younger man only survived through sheer luck earlier. The buzzcut man explains that striking first will allow him to take the top spot on the kill rankings.
He imagines a future where his big score allows him to become a billionaire, living a life of luxury.
Laughing loudly, the muscular man throws a punch and tells the monsters they will become part of his fortune. The cleaning captain monster instantly retaliates by swinging its glowing green weapon through the man's torso. Terrified survivors watch in horror as the muscular man is decapitated and his head hits the floor. The monsters charge forward as the cleaning captain announces the cleanup has begun while survivors beg for their lives. Survivors scream for help while the monsters mockingly call them trash that must be cleaned up immediately.
Rohi moves with incredible speed, focused on engaging the monsters before more people are killed.
Intervening in the slaughter, Rohi declares himself as the monster's opponent and delivers a powerful orange-colored strike. The force of the black-haired man's attack slams a worker monster violently into the office floor.
Rohi tells the others that they must fight back and kill the bosses to clear the stage. He notes that killing these low-level bosses is an essential step to gaining strength and defeating the evil gods. Shocked survivors observe the battle, realizing that Rohi is strong enough to instantly kill the monsters.
A monster on the ground continues to mutter about cleaning trash, prompting a survivor to warn that it's moving.
Rohi delivers a massive vertical energy strike to ensure the fallen monster is completely destroyed.
A red digital light descends upon the defeated creature as the system begins its deletion process.
Rohi explains that rewards are only granted once a monster is truly dead, so he always finishes them off. He receives a steel broom weapon and a strength attribute card as his rewards.
The survivors are amazed that the young man killed the monster and is far stronger than the muscular man.
Rohi observes that monsters drop strength, agility, or stamina cards and expresses his desperate need for more stats. Rohi activates his new card to reach level 2 strength as another cleaning worker monster approaches him.
He notes that a single level gap allows a player to crush enemies in this dangerous world. His current strength is level 2, boosted further by his equipped steel broom. A glowing green worker monster prepares to strike with its broom as Rohi stands ready.
Rohi smirks and claims the creature is no match for him before killing the level 1 cleaning worker.
A system window confirms that Rohi has obtained another E-rank card reward for his strength attribute.
Rohi notes his strength has reached level 3 just as he senses a sudden threat behind him. The black-haired man narrowly avoids a green energy slash as a monster attempts to ambush him.
He coldly remarks that a clumsy sneak attack like that will never work against someone with his experience. A system notification confirms the death of another worker and grants Rohi an E-rank agility card. Rohi holds the green card and remarks that agility is a crucial stat for his survival. 3 green monsters surround Rohi and shout that he is hateful trash that must be cleaned up. Rohi realizes the game's aggro system makes the monsters target him more heavily for killing their companions. He observes that the Cleaning Captain boss receives a 2-level strength boost from its exclusive cleaning mastery skill. Rohi decides that charging in alone is reckless and plans to kite the monsters to wear them down. The black-haired man leads the 3 glowing monsters on a chase through the crowded office workstations.
Rohi tells the survivors to throw objects at the monsters to distract them and give him an opening. He explains that he is drawing the aggro, so they only need to provide cover for him to win.
He thinks that if he finds decent players, he can lead them to clear more stages and increase survival. He believes that the more people who know how to clear the stages, the more lives will be saved.
The survivors cower in fear, arguing that Rohi should handle the monsters alone to avoid drawing their attention.
Rohi notes that the survivors are paralyzed by fear and realizes he must create his own opening.
A glowing green monster lunges through the air toward Rohi while shouting about trash. Rohi ducks under the monster's attack and slams a computer keyboard against the creature's head. The black-haired man looks back in surprise as one of the survivors finally decides to make a move. A man in a brown sweater argues that they should help Rohi so everyone can survive together. The man in the blue shirt remains terrified and questions how normal people could possibly fight against such monsters. The glowing green Cleaning Captain monster screams about cleaning trash while looming over a workstation as a survivor panics.
The man with glasses shouts that he has successfully lured the boss over and urges Rohi to attack.
A large sound effect fills the panel as a fast, powerful attack is launched through the air.
Rohi thanks the man while delivering a powerful strike that kills 2 level 1 cleaning worker monsters.
Rohi notes that his current stats allow him to one-shot the workers, leaving only the boss.
2 system windows announce that Rohi has obtained an E-rank agility card and an E-rank strength card.
The glowing green Cleaning Captain monster screams about cleaning trash while lunging at the terrified man with glasses.
Rohi suddenly appears behind the boss and tells it that it is the real trash here.
In a fluid motion, Rohi decapitates the glowing green boss while the man with glasses watches. A blue system window congratulates player Rohi for defeating the boss of this stage.
The system unlocks the contribution rankings, showing Rohi in first place and announces rewards for defeating the boss.
Rohi reflects on his ranking and recalls that clearing the first dungeon first grants a powerful card.
Standing with his steel broom, Rohi realizes that maintaining the top spot will be difficult globally.
Shadows of powerful players from Rohi's past life appear as he resolves not to underestimate anyone.
Text panels explain that stage rewards include attribute and skill cards based on a player's final ranking. Rohi observes various glowing item cards and decides to maximize his points to secure an S-rank card. A system window confirms the defeat of the first phase boss, the Cleaning Captain of Slaughter Company.
Rohi views a reward window listing cards and notes the rare Iron Embryo card's weapon creation ability.
A detailed view of the Iron Embryo card describes its ability to forge an exclusive E-rank weapon.
2 legendary swords are shown bound by chains as Rohi hopes for good luck.
Rohi observes the man with glasses, noting his courage despite his fearful appearance.
The man with glasses thanks Rohi for saving everyone, and Rohi dismisses it as self-preservation.
Rohi tells the man he is smart and offers him 3 cards to awaken his stats.
The man with glasses reacts with shock, questioning if the cards wouldn't be more useful for Rohi.
Rohi insists the man earned them for his timely help and places a hand on his shoulder. Rohi holds a blue card and instructs the man to watch closely to learn how to use it.
A status panel shows Rohi's stats increasing while he prepares for the second round of the game. The man with glasses glows with blue energy and expresses amazement at how much lighter his body feels.
A system window displays the man's profile, revealing his name as Xu Wen and his level 0 stats.
Xu Wen looks at his status window in confusion, wondering why he has experience points without any kills.
Rohi explains that attacking the boss granted Xu Wen experience and notes the modest boost from leveling. Rohi confirms he is level 4, much to Xu Wen's surprise as he views Rohi's status.
Rohi holds a glowing Iron Embryo, excited to see what kind of weapon his aura will create.
A dark, crackling energy begins to take shape in Rohi's hand as the Iron Embryo activates.
A system window describes the Blue Vein Sword, an E-rank growth-type weapon permanently bound to Rohi's soul.
Rohi is pleased to have obtained a rare growth-type sword with significant potential combat power.
Xu Wen is stunned by the weapon's strength and concludes that Rohi is a true monster slayer. Rohi compares the new sword to his previous life's S-rank weapon, acknowledging its long path ahead. A system window announces that the first stage, Cleaning Crew, has been successfully cleared for everyone. The system directs players to the staff cafeteria for the next stage and begins a 5-minute countdown.
Rohi invites Xu Wen to join him, explaining that he needs smart people for future stages.
Xu Wen enthusiastically agrees to follow Rohi, and the two prepare to head to the next area.
Other survivors beg Rohi to take them along, offering money or service for his protection.
Several men block Rohi's path and demand he save them, but he threatens to treat them as monsters. The survivors recoil in terror as Rohi and Xu Wen walk past them toward the exit.
Two survivors exchange a worried look as they watch Rohi's back, shaken by his cold intensity.
Xu Wen asks why Rohi won't take the others, and Rohi explains their cowardice is a liability.
Rohi states that he isn't a noble savior and is only focused on saving those he loves.
Rohi warns Xu Wen about the next boss's mental corruption and tells him to use the cleaning card.
A system window confirms they have reached the staff cafeteria as Rohi notes the pleasant atmosphere.
The system warns that only 1 minute remains as a glowing red monster looms nearby. Xu Wen reacts with terror as a red silhouette manifests before him in the cafeteria.
Rohi explains that the executioner monster punishes latecomers while leading Xu Wen to safety.
Rohi instructs Xu Wen to sit while the latter worries about their arrival time.
The black-haired man notes that quick decisions prevent lateness while most people waste time hesitating. A system notification shows the countdown at 52 seconds as Rohi reflects on fear.
Survivors desperately rush into the cafeteria as the countdown hits 10 seconds, narrowly avoiding death.
Rohi urges the new arrivals to find seats as the executioner stands by the door.
A man expresses relief for making it inside just as the countdown timer hits 0.
The red monster executes the man for being too slow, declaring that time has expired. Survivors lament their hesitation upstairs as they realize the boss monster appeared faster than expected.
A tray filled with green slime rattles ominously as it is moved across the floor.
A glowing red chef monster pushes a cart while chanting a command for everyone to eat.
Xu Wen stares in horror at a plate filled with glowing green, pulsating organic matter.
The man with glasses realizes the horrific truth that the dishes are made of former monsters. A system window announces that viewing the meal triggers a mental corruption debuff for players.
Terrified survivors experience significant stat reductions as the mental corruption takes hold of the room.
Xu Wen realizes that the multi-stat debuff has made clearing the stage significantly more difficult.
Rohi observes the warning that failing to finish the meal will lead to spirit depletion. Xu Wen panics over the impossible choice as the system gives them 7 minutes to decide.
Rohi confidently claims he has found a way to clear this dangerous second stage.
The black-haired man maximizes his attributes to level 5 using his collection of E-rank cards. Rohi holds up 2 green agility cards, noting they are now useless for his progression.
Rohi tosses the extra cards to Xu Wen and commands him to use them immediately.
A bright light fills the panel as Xu Wen activates the attribute cards he just received.
Xu Wen glows with green energy, reaching level 3 agility while other survivors watch in envy.
The glowing red chef monster roars in fury, demanding to know who killed its underlings. Survivors recoil in terror, paralyzed by the monster's roar and the sheer power it radiates.
Xu Wen is amazed by the tangible power boost he feels from the newly activated cards.
The chef monster threatens to decapitate everyone while Xu Wen realizes the roar no longer terrifies him.
Rohi lunges forward and blocks the chef's massive cleaver with his own glowing red sword.
The red chef monster is stunned by the human's ability to parry such a heavy strike.
Rohi calmly confesses that he is the one responsible for the deaths of the underlings.
A sharp sound echoes as the blue-veined sword holds firm against the monster's jagged cleaver.
The chef monster promises to leave Rohi's head intact to witness the slaughter of others.
Rohi stares back coldly, promising to decapitate the monster before it can harm anyone else.
The red chef monster swings its weapon with overwhelming force, intent on crushing the puny human.
A massive explosion of energy erupts from the point of impact between the two powerful weapons. Xu Wen shouts in alarm, observing that even Rohi's high strength is being pushed back.
Thick white smoke and dust billow outward, obscuring the view of the ongoing life-or-death struggle.
Rohi emerges from the smoke, finding comfort in being called a leader once again.
Rohi recalls leading a team during a previous life's trial known as Prison Day.
A blood-stained flashback shows Rohi's former companions cheering for him as their leader.
The black-haired man somberly remembers that every one of those teammates died during the journey.
Rohi stands in solitude, questioning why he was the only survivor of that tragic past.
The chef monster prepares another heavy strike, shouting its intent to chop Rohi into pieces.
Rohi reflects on his past lack of understanding as he holds his glowing red sword.
Rohi realizes the true meaning of leadership and delivers a final lethal strike of energy.
A massive vertical energy slash cuts through the air, heading directly for the glowing red monster.
The panel shows the aftermath of the impact as the powerful strike connects with its target.
A massive vertical energy slash connects, triggering a blinding white explosion and shockwave.
Rohi crouches low with his sword as red lightning-like energy crackles around him.
A focused view shows Rohi's determination while the monster marvels at his speed.
Rohi delivers a crushing strike, revealing he was only pretending to struggle before.
The black-haired man reflects that survival required both hesitation-free action and careful strategic thinking. A close-up of Rohi's eyes reveals his drive was fueled by a superior desire.
A massive burst of energy erupts as Rohi admits he simply wanted to win. Rohi remains in a low stance as a colossal pillar of red energy surges.
Rohi walks away, noting that winning was just a means to a greater end.
The black-haired man explains he wanted to win to protect lives and restore normalcy.
A blue system window confirms the head chef's defeat and grants a 30% reward bonus.
A series of attribute cards and a special memory recovery card appear as the stage rewards.
A special reward notification offers a temporary 3-level boost to a random attribute for 10 minutes.
Rohi explains that the hidden rule provided extra bonuses on top of the memory card.
Rohi views the rankings, showing himself in first place with 1,700 contribution points.
Rohi recognizes his future allies while recalling how previous difficult stages decimated humanity's strongest.
The black-haired man resolves to obtain an S-rank card to counter future world-ending events.
Rohi looks upon the shadowy figures of his former rivals from his previous life. System windows announce the cafeteria is clear and direct all players toward the final escape states.
Rohi observes the 5-minute countdown and notes the arrival of the most difficult stage.
Rohi tells Su Wen it is time to go, and the latter complies immediately.
Shu Wen stops the black-haired man, prompting a confused look from the busy leader.
The man with glasses holds out a clean white tissue in the palm of his hand.
Shu Wen offers the tissue so Rohi can wipe the blood from his face.
The man with glasses laments his perceived uselessness and wishes he could provide better support.
Rohi silently observes that most people in this harsh world are still fundamentally kind.
The black-haired man assures Su Wen of his utility, making the man with glasses beam.
Glowing blue silhouettes of soldiers note the player's progress and prepare for their upcoming arrival.
A blue monster with a jagged grin commands his forces to consume every last human.
A system window warns that failing to reach the lobby before the timer ends results in failure.
Rohi explains that combat effectiveness depends on both stats and a person's inherent nature.
A glowing aura surrounds Rohi as Su Wen looks at him with intense admiration. The two men stop their descent as they reach a landing on the concrete staircase.
Rohi tells Su Wen to wait for others and warn them that running leads to failure.
Shu Wen expresses concern for Rohi, who intends to solo the dangerous upcoming monsters.
Shu Wen salutes while Rohi reflects on a hidden rule that simplifies the next stage.
Rohi realizes he needs the original top-tier player to clear the lobby's elite guards.
Glowing blue security guards stand ready to intercept any survivors attempting to exit the building.
Rohi recalls that soloing this stage in his past life led to certain death.
The black-haired man turns around as a voice shouts a greeting from the stairs above.
Rohi smirks with satisfaction, noting that a famous figure from his past has arrived.
Rohi reflects on how this newcomer was once the backbone of their survival team.
A muscular, red-haired man named Xu Zhengyang stands surrounded by a flickering aura of red energy.
Xu Zhengyang asks if Rohi is insulting him while Rohi offers a friendly reminder.
The red-haired man lunges forward, determined to prove his superiority and defeat Rohi fairly.
Xu Zhengyang leaps through the air, declaring his intent to kill the next stage's boss.
Rohi remains perfectly calm and informs the lunging man that they are not equal. The black-haired man effortlessly catches Xu Zhengyang's punch with his bare hand, causing a shockwave.
Xu Zhengyang is stunned by Rohi's superhuman strength and wonders if it is a buff.
Rohi offers 3 attribute cards in exchange for teaming up against the tricky next stage. The red-haired man looks toward Rohi, asking if he truly intends to team up.
Rohi tosses an E-rank special card that restores memories, which shocks the red-haired man.
Rohi explains that the Slaughter Company erases memories to prevent people from uniting through shared weaknesses.
Rohi observes that the enemies understand human nature far too well as a giant eye watches. Xu Zhengyang activates the memory card to awaken his heart's memories while a green aura surrounds him.
Rohi reflects that knowing the red-haired man's real-world weak spot makes his cooperation a certainty.
Xu Zhengyang remembers his brother waiting outside and resolves to get out of the trial alive.
Xu Zhengyang asks if teaming up will ensure they clear the stage, and Rohi confirms it.
Xu Zhengyang's level 1 stats appear as he promises to remember this favor from Rohi. Rohi commands the red-haired man to hold off minor enemies while he approaches the lobby doors.
Rohi activates his strength cards and the chef's buff, reaching level 7 strength and level 5 agility.
A system window confirms a 10-minute strength boost of 3 levels, which Rohi considers very lucky.
Rohi notes that the stage is easier now and mentions a hidden rule for more strength.
Glowing blue security guards emerge to intercept the two men as they enter the ground floor lobby.
The blue monsters mock the human's scrawny appearance, claiming there is barely any meat on them.
The jagged-toothed blue monsters laugh while wondering how many hits the two humans can actually withstand.
Xu Zhengyang feels immense pressure facing monsters head-on and wonders if the two of them can win.
Rohi claims they can wipe the monsters out while Xu Zhengyang is inspired by his courage.
Rohi notes that the random strength buff makes the stage easier as they gain extra levels.
Rohi attacks with a dark grin, declaring that he is the real boss of this floor.
Xu Zhengyang warns that Rohi is being too reckless as he lunges into the monster group.
In a flashback, Xu Zhengyang remembers fighting illegible opponents in underground boxing matches as the crowd cheered.
The The red-haired man recalls the strategy of finding the best time to strike back in a fight. A boxer with a malicious grin looms over Zhu Zhengyang and his memories of the underground match. Zhu Zhengyang recalls the strategy of observing attacks clearly before finishing an opponent with a single blow.
Rohi thinks charging in blindly will cost the monsters as they attempt to eat him.
A system window reveals the security guard stats as they mock Rohi's perceived physical weakness.
Rohi delivers a massive blue energy swing that sends a blinding shockwave across the entire lobby.
Xu Zhengyang is stunned by Rohi's speed, realizing the black-haired man had been holding back before.
The monsters realize Rohi is dangerous and command their allies to use their group skill immediately.
A system notification warns all players to reach the lobby in 56 seconds or face failure.
A thought bubble explains that players will be attacked upon reaching the lobby despite the remaining time.
Rohi resolves to clear a safe area for the survivors as the timer hits 49 seconds.
Xu Wen coordinates the survivors into an orderly line as the lobby countdown hits 45 seconds.
Xu Wen stalls for time to bring everyone in last while Rohi notes how sharp he is.
Xu Zhengyang decides to go help Rohi after observing that the monsters seem relatively weak.
The red-haired man clenches his bandaged fists, preparing to join the struggle against the blue guards. Rohi commands Xu Zhengyang to protect the survivors instead of joining the main combat at the front.
Monsters decide to prey on the survivors to top up their strength while Rohi calls for Zhu Zhengyang. A blue monster lunges toward the group of humans, intent on starting its meal with a smaller survivor.
Zhu Zhengyang shouts for the monster to die and promises to stop them from eating his people.
Xu Zhengyang struggles to hurt the monsters while reflecting on Rohi's reasons for saving everyone.
The red-haired man punches a guard and wonders why the battle is so easy for Rohi. Xu Wen tells everyone not to move around randomly to avoid drawing the monster's attention.
The survivors agree to trust their leaders while cheering for Rohi as he faces the guards.
Rohi stands ready as red lightning crackles around his sword, which is now fully charged for combat.
The blue monsters urge their brothers to go all out with their skills to cut Rohi down.
Rohi stares back with a cold smile, remarking that he was thinking the exact same thing.
A massive burst of red energy erupts from Rohi's sword, tearing through the monsters in the lobby.
Xu Wen and the other survivors look on in awe, feeling lucky to have such a strong leader.
Xu Zhengyang struggles against the blue monster, amazed by Rohi's overwhelming combat strength.
The black-haired man levels his glowing sword, calmly announcing that it is now his turn.
The security captain's stats appear as he expresses a sadistic joy at the thought of killing.
Rohi stands defiantly before the massive glowing blue silhouette of the formidable security captain.
The man with glasses and the survivors gasp in terror at the boss's terrifying stats.
Rohi reflects on the massive death toll this specific boss caused in his past life.
The black-haired man lunges at the glowing monster, trailing a streak of vibrant red energy.
A massive red energy slash rips through the lobby, signaling the start of the engagement.
Rohi resolves to change fate this time while the jagged-toothed monster prepares its strike.
Moving with blinding speed, the black-haired man determines that he is strong enough alone. Rohi delivers high-speed slashes against the monsters as his allies watch the carnage below.
The final boss is decimated as Rohi's updated level 8 stats appear on screen.
Rohi credits his massive power boost to stacking multiple attribute cards and the chef's buff.
Standing over the dissipating boss, Rohi notes his vast improvement compared to his previous life.
The survivors stare in open-mouthed shock, realizing Rohi is no longer at a human level.
The black-haired man notes that only one small fry remains before the final stage clear.
Xu Zhengyang declares he will settle the fight as the monster threatens to kill him.
Rohi delivers the final blow and tells the red-haired man his intervention was unnecessary.
The red-haired man stands in shock, feeling powerless compared to Rohi's effortless victory.
A system window announces the stage clear and credits Rohi with nearly total contribution.
The black-haired man looks on stoically as the final reward calculation process begins.
Rohi wonders what kind of massive extra reward his high contribution will yield.
A technical notice explains the nature of the comic preview and potential narrative errors. The hero appears in a promotional pose, glowing with power and ready for new challenges.
Survivors rejoice after receiving an all-stats activation card for successfully clearing the beginner stage.
Rohi reflects on how the sudden surge in stats can drive some toward villainy. The black-haired man resolves to establish management rules and recruit powerful figures for support.
Rohi realizes his top-tier world ranking will eventually force real-world leaders to find him.
Viewing the global scoreboard, the black-haired man feels like the ruler of the game. The survivors are elated as their bodies feel lighter and more powerful from new stats.
Xu Wen excitedly checks his new level 1 status and improved agility statistics.
Xu Zhengyang feels significantly stronger while Rohi realizes his own stats are much higher.
A system window explains that rewards are generated based strictly on each player's contribution percentage.
Xu Wen and the red-haired man discuss their rewards and anticipate Rohi's loot. The man with glasses receives a strength attribute card and celebrates his improved stats.
Xu Zhengyang receives strength and stamina cards while looking toward Rohi with intense curiosity. Rohi examines 3 rare reward cards, finding them unique even to his vast experience.
The black-haired man views special cards for maxing stats, changing classes, and forming teams.
Rohi notes his good luck as the stage environment begins to shake and dissolve.
The lobby walls crumble into digital fragments as the stage clear process finishes.
Ro-hee confirms they can return to reality while warning of the world's dramatic transformation.
The survivors react with disbelief as Ro-hee reveals the game was created to destroy humanity.
The black-haired man vows to gain the strength necessary to protect the world from destruction.
Shu Wen and the red-haired man look at Ro-hee with awe after his declaration. A system window announces Ro-hee's S-rank reward while a shadowy silhouette observes him.
The mysterious silhouette considers granting Ro-hee a portion of divine power if his performance continues.
White feathers drift through a blue void as the transition back to the real world begins.
Ro-hee awakens in a hospital bed, successfully returning to the real world's timeline.
The black-haired man removes his medical equipment, determined to save the world with others.
A nurse discovers Ro-hee is awake and frantically calls for a doctor to assist.
The doctor informs the black-haired man that his physical readings are now normal. He explains that the man was in a 3-day coma along with thousands.
The doctor finds the global mass fainting event to be an impossible coincidence.
Ro-hee urgently asks the doctor about the current location and condition of his mother.
The doctor reveals that his mother fell into a coma and remains unconscious.
From a medical standpoint, the doctor concludes that his mother is now a vegetable.
Ro-hee realizes that his mother was also selected as a player this time.
He reflects on how Prison Day systematically pulls groups into the game in batches.
Those who lose in the game's trials are left in a permanent vegetative state.
The black-haired man decides to use his most important asset for his mother's sake.
Memories of his mother's hard work drive his resolve to ensure she lives well.
He reveals a special S-rank card named Freedom is hidden within his own pocket.
Ro-hee decides to use the rare card to release his mother immediately.
A blinding golden light erupts as he activates the card, startling the nearby doctor.
The doctor shields his eyes from the sudden, intense radiance filling the hospital room.
Sweat beads on the doctor's face as he witnesses a scientifically impossible event occur.
The doctor stares in total shock as the supernatural light begins to settle slowly.
The mother wakes up in her hospital bed, confused about her current medical surroundings.
Overcome with relief, Ro-hee tightly embraces his mother as she calls his name.
He vows to his mother that she will never face any danger again. The doctor stands frozen in disbelief, wondering if he just witnessed a literal miracle.
The scene shifts to a serene blue expanse as the hospital moment concludes. A system screen displays the world contribution rankings with Ro-hee at the top.
Hidden figures observe the rankings, intent on recruiting the player ranked first in the world.
Organizations discuss the potential for this top player to eventually rule the entire world.
The mother tells Ro-hee about her nightmare involving a terrifying amusement park.
Ro-hee realizes she was trapped in an amusement park-themed beginner stage.
She describes the moment a monster reached for her before everything went completely dark.
Looking troubled, she explains her complete lack of awareness after the monster's sudden attack.
She recalls waking up to find her son gently patting her on the head. The mother dismisses the entire ordeal as a strange and very realistic dream. Ro-hee gently informs his mother that the events she experienced were not dreams.
A voice outside belongs to Qingzai, who excitedly claims he crossed into another world.
Qingzai bursts in, comparing his game experience to being a manga protagonist.
He recounts clearing the stage while the mother asks if he had weird dreams.
Ro-hee sighs at his friend's enduring eccentricities and his overly dramatic personality.
Ro-hee leads Qingzai out of the room so his mother can rest quietly. Qingzai insists his story is true and mentions the game's official name.
Ro-hee identifies the game as Prison Day and tells him to check rankings.
Qingzai opens the system screen and is stunned by the name at the top.
Ro-hee confirms he is the top player while his friend stares in shock.
Qingzai cannot believe his friend is the #1 ranked player in the world. Ro-hee explains that using his reward cards will trigger a global system notification.
Golden energy swirls around Ro-hee as he activates a player job change card. He reflects on how every job within the game possesses immense and unique potential.
While initially weak, these rare jobs eventually grant players limitless power and growth.
Ro-hee prepares to reveal the 3 most powerful jobs available in reality. The first is the Elemental Envoy, capable of mastering the 4 natural elements.
The second is the Dragon-Blooded Descendant, allowing transformation into a giant black flame dragon. The final job is the Wisdom Seeker, granting mastery over time travel and reality. The black-haired man stands within a digital void, wondering what random job the system will grant him.
A system window reveals that Ro-hee has acquired the enigmatic job title of Myriad Novice.
Ro-hee looks surprised and notes that Myriad Novice is a job he never heard of even in his previous life, while the system confirms the successful job change despite its unknown rating.
A detailed notification explains that the resonance of Tool's talent allows Ro-hee to perceive the principle of all things and achieve perfect unity with any weapon or object, while a flowchart reveals 4 hidden advancement stages.
Ro-hee observes that while normal jobs have 3 stages, this one has 5 and an unprecedented level of difficulty, making him curious about the final form of its power.
The black-haired man feels a surge of excitement and curiosity despite his history as a top-tier player in his past life. Qingzai bursts into the room shouting that Rohi is the first person in the world to successfully change jobs, holding up a screen filled with garbled system text. The flat-topped man continues to stammer in disbelief as the garbled system notification repeats across his handheld blue screen.
The black-haired man remains stoic and unimpressed as his friend frantically explains the recent system announcement. Qingzai pathetically clings to Rohi's leg and begs to be taken under his wing for the sake of their long childhood friendship, receiving only a silent stare in return.
A nurse enters the hallway and asks if she is interrupting their conversation while clutching a clipboard.
Rohi holds his head and asks what is wrong, reflecting on how the nurse asking for payment caused him significant trouble in his previous timeline. Standing in the hallway, the nurse informs Rohi that his mother's advance payments have run out and he is now over a month behind on medical costs. Qingzai offers to use the few thousand on his payroll card to cover the fees, but Rohi declines, stating he will find another way. Rohi looks at his hand and recalls becoming a bodyguard for the elite in his past life, because a player's physical abilities are highly valuable. Clenching his fist, the black-haired man resolves to lift the financial burden from his mother's shoulders and never be a burden to anyone again. The nurse is interrupted by a sudden, high-pitched alert coming from her mobile communications device. She answers the call as Rohi and his friend watch from the hospital corridor. The nurse expresses pure shock at the unexpected news she is receiving over the phone. The nurse joyfully announces that Rohi no longer needs to worry because someone paid a massive sum that covers hospital fees for 100 years. She points at the friend and says the payment applies to the flat-topped patient as well, leaving Qingzai confused about being called a patient. Qingzai loudly protests that he is not mentally ill and is only at the hospital to visit his friend. The nurse indicates the correct room down the hallway for the upcoming meeting to take place. A blonde man in a suit stops in his tracks as he notices the player nearby. A blonde man in a purple suit arrives with a small entourage and asks if Rohi is present in the hospital wing.
The flat-topped friend looks on with a confused expression as the strangers approach the duo.
The blonde man asks if they are his friends and requests help in contacting Rohi to discuss something of great importance. Seeing the group from behind, Rohi notes that he did not expect the powerful players from the game to arrive so quickly. Rohi stares intensely while thinking about the influential people who were also selected to play Prison Day. Qingzai asks the group why they are looking for his friend while noting that their expensive clothes and confident attitude mark them as big shots.
The flat-topped man realizes the group likely came because Rohi is now the #1 ranked player in the world.
Qingzai wonders about the total cost of a century's worth of fees and why they paid for him when he isn't even a patient.
The nurse whispers to Rohi that these newcomers are the ones who cleared his massive hospital debt. Rohi calmly thanks her but states he already knew it was them, surprising both the nurse and his friend with his awareness.
Rohi steps forward and identifies himself to the group of influential and wealthy visitors.
Zhao Meng is impressed by the top player's calmness, while Ding Yiyun expresses surprise at how young the world-ranked leader appears to be.
The black-haired man notes that these individuals are figures who dominate the highest levels of global politics and business.
Rohi identifies Zhao Meng as a conglomerate leader and rising politician, Ding Yiyun as a tech overlord with military ties, and Zhang Xilin as a global energy titan.
The elegant woman in the white gown and fur shrug observes the scene with curiosity.
Zhao Ming expresses pleasure in meeting him and offers an introduction, but Rohi interrupts, stating he already knows them and wants to get to the point.
Zhao Meng and Ding Yiyun are shocked he knows them, while Zhang Xilin finds the young man's confidence even more interesting than she expected.
Zhang Xilin gestures for Rohi to follow them to a more suitable location they have prepared for their private meeting.
Rohi rejects the offer to travel and suggests they simply hold their conversation in the doctor's office instead.
The blonde man and his team follow Rohi down the corridor, agreeing to proceed exactly as the player suggests.
Zhang Xilin watches Rohi's back and notes that he is clearly a man who refuses to give up the initiative in negotiations.
Qingzai is amazed at how much his friend has changed, remembering him as a broke patient just 10 minutes earlier.
Rohi tells his friend to bring the strategy guide and join them, leaving Qingzai questioning if he is truly qualified to be included.
Looking very nervous, the flat-topped man asks if it is really necessary for him to bring the physical guide along.
Rohi looks back with a judging stare and asks if he failed to read it, causing Qingzai to feel incredibly guilty.
Qingzai shouts that he will go find the document immediately as he runs off in a cartoonish spinning blur.
Rohi reflects on his mother's lack of rewards and considers punishing his friend.
Zhang Xilin expresses curiosity regarding the nature of the strategy guide Rohi previously mentioned.
Rohi confirms that the document is a complete guide for clearing every beginner stage.
The influential group expresses complete disbelief, questioning how such a guide could exist so early. Smirking, the black-haired man suggests they wait for proof before dismissing his claim as a joke.
Hospital staff watch in awe as a line of suited guards secures the hallway outside.
Zhao Meng is stunned to find exact records of monsters, weaknesses, and hidden rules inside.
The others confirm the guide's accuracy for their own stages and find the situation unbelievable. Qingzai questions the guide's reality while Rohi notes his friend's mischance for ranking.
Overcome with regret, the flat-topped man laments missing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to gain power.
Zhao Ming apologizes for their earlier doubt, realizing Rohi's abilities far exceed their expectations.
The black-haired man remains unfazed as he questions the limits of their initial recruitment intentions. Zhang Shilin describes him as an all-knowing prophet who can see everything before it happens.
Rohi closes his eyes and admits that their assessment of him feels somewhat accurate.
He recalls memorizing forum posts in his past life, now using that knowledge against gods.
Leaning back comfortably, Rohi asks the influential trio what they specifically want from him.
The three leaders bow deeply and formally request that Rohi become their official advisor. Zhao Ming recounts the sheer terror of having his life depend on a single thread.
Ding Yiwen expresses hope that Rohi's expert assistance will ensure their survival in future stages.
Zhang Shilin admits their fear of dying when they are eventually summoned back to the Bing. Qingzai watches his friend with a mixture of concern and awe during the intense negotiation. Zhao Ming vows that they will accept any conditions the top player chooses to name.
Rohi considers the offer as his friend admires how cool he looks in this moment.
Qingzai fantasizes about using massive wealth to free his family from a life of poverty. The black-haired man declares that he will help only if they agree to 3 conditions.
Qingzai is impressed by the masterfully bold move of demanding 3 wishes from the group.
The 3 big shots eagerly agree to any number of conditions and urge him to speak.
Rohi demands the guide be spread globally, while Qingzai worries his friend isn't asking enough.
The group is shocked he would give away a life-saving treasure without seeking a profit.
Rohi points out that they already received the supposedly precious information for free from him.
Stunned by his selflessness, the group acknowledges the young man's incredible generosity toward the world.
He explains that his true goal is to save as many human lives as possible. A close-up reveals the unwavering determination in Rohi's eyes regarding his humanitarian mission. The visitors realize he is genuine and note that such a kind-hearted man is incredibly rare. Bowing again, they agree to his first request and promise to distribute the guide worldwide.
Rohi sets a second condition requiring them to establish regulations for controlling powerful players.
Zhao Ming agrees, stating they were already planning to prevent players from bullying normal people.
Looking serious, Rohi warns them that his final condition might prove to be quite difficult.
The trio becomes visibly tense as they worry he will ask for something beyond their capabilities. Internally, Qingzai begs his friend to finally ask for money as his last request.
Rohi requests a modest home so he and his mother can leave the psychiatric hospital.
He explains that his only desire is for his mother to live a normal life again. The big shots are confused by the simple request while Qingzai collapses in pure disbelief.
Rohi explains that asking for personal gains feels bad and he refuses to be a beggar.
Relieved, the trio agrees 1,000 times over and insists on preparing the house for him.
Rohi calmly suggests that the group doesn't need to get so worked up over it.
The trio sheepishly apologizes for their outburst, while Qingzai laughs at the sudden change in mood.
Each member of the group views the simple task as the easiest way to gain goodwill.
Rohi walks away, mentioning he has tasks to complete before an expected visitor arrives soon.
He looks back and warns the group that the next game countdown is about to begin.
The influential trio is stunned by a system notice announcing a 72-hour countdown to the next game.
Rohi promises to provide strategies for the second round if they fulfill his requests within 3 days.
The leaders bow in respect before they are all interrupted by a sudden, rhythmic knocking at the door.
A nervous guard peeks into the office, his expression signaling that an unexpected situation has arisen outside. Zhao Ming angrily shouts that no one is permitted to disturb their meeting, regardless of their official status.
The guard stammers that a woman claiming to be Rohi's girlfriend is demanding to see him immediately.
Qingzai lunges at his friend, tearfully accusing the black-haired man of secretly dating behind his back.
Rohi pins his friend's head down, firmly stating that he is not dating anyone and to stop.
An elegantly dressed woman with brown hair enters the room, smiling while holding a large, colorful bouquet.
Qingzai stares with intense anger, thinking that the woman has incredible nerve to show her face there.
Observing the duo, the visitors consider if the woman is actually compatible with the top-ranked player. The black-haired man recalls the woman previously insulting him as a mental patient who had no right to her.
Rohi reflects on their school days, noting he only ever viewed the woman as a platonic friend.
Staring intensely, the young man realizes that his former classmate has also been selected as a player. The brown-haired woman offers the flowers and apologizes, hoping to mend their relationship after her past mistakes.
Seeing Rohi's coldness, the leaders decide to help him by handling this nuisance at the right time.
Qingzai blocks the woman's path, yelling for her to get lost after how she previously humiliated his friend. Looking distressed, the woman claims she was young and foolish, but now realizes how wrong she was before. Rohi remains silent as he watches the woman continue to plead for his forgiveness and assistance.
Zhang Shilin observes the woman's desperate behavior and recognizes her as someone who is purely opportunistic and realistic.
The woman begs Rohi not to leave her to die in the upcoming stages of the game.
Qingzai shouts that she didn't just turn Rohi down, she maliciously humiliated and slandered him in public.
Ro-hee calms his friend, reminding him they are in a hospital, and suggests they leave the area. The black-haired man clearly states that he never liked her and only ever saw her as a friend.
The duo turns their backs and walks away, leaving the stunned woman standing alone in the hospital corridor.
Desperate, she shouts that she will be his girlfriend if he simply agrees to help her survive.
The woman chases after them, vowing that she will never leave Ro-hee's side if he protects her.
She suddenly stops in her tracks as her path is blocked by two large men in dark suits.
A pair of imposing guards stand firm, preventing the woman from following the top-ranked player any further. The brown-haired woman shouts at the guards to move aside, continuing her lie that she is Ro-hee's girlfriend.
The leaders coldly inform the woman that Ro-hee has no interest in her or her false claims. The woman continues to scream that she is Ro-hee's woman as the guards forcibly remove her.
Ching-zai relaxes and tells his friend that seeing her get dragged away was an incredibly satisfying outcome.
Walking down the hall, Ro-hee reflects on his memories and prepares for his next important meeting.
The scene shifts to a hospital door as the black-haired man notes someone should already be inside.
A faint sound indicates that the door to the patient's ward is being opened from the outside. A young woman with long silver hair is seen from behind, standing inside the sunlit hospital room.
The silver-haired girl turns around, her wide eyes filled with shock at the sight of the visitor.
Ro-hee's mother invites him over, explaining that Xiao-ri has been busy helping while he was out.
The black-haired man offers a gentle smile and greets Xiao-ri as his mother watches from her bed.
Xiao-ri questions the greeting while Ro-hee remembers her tragic death in his previous life.
Overwhelmed with emotion, the young man pulls the startled girl into a sudden and tight embrace.
The silver-haired girl becomes incredibly flustered while Ro-hee's mother watches the scene with a happy smile.
Ching-zai watches from the doorway, feeling that something about their relationship seems deeper than just being friends.
Night falls over the city, with a full moon visible through the dark window of the hospital.
The hospital ward remains quiet as the patients settle in for the night under the dim lights.
Ro-hee reflects on the leader's significant influence, noting they even managed to upgrade his mother's room.
A blue system window appears in the dark, showing that only 63 hours remain until the start. Sitting on his bed, the young man calculates that the next stage will match his memories of the past.
A notification confirms that after changing jobs, he has successfully gained the skill Resonance of Tools.
The black-haired man touches the hospital bed, realizing his new skill changes how he perceives physical objects. He explains that activating the ability allows him to feel the intricate details of whatever he touches.
Observing the bed structure through a wireframe view, he notes his understanding of the object has become incredibly detailed.
Looking around the ward, he realizes he can perceive the structural integrity of his immediate surroundings.
Ro-hee identifies a loose screw on the bed leg, proving his analysis can find the smallest flaws.
He laments the lack of weapons in the hospital to test the full depth of his weapon analysis. The young man stares at his hands, contemplating the potential applications of his newly acquired resonance ability.
A mysterious blue energy circle appears in the void, announcing that Ro-hee is qualified for a trial. Ro-hee recognizes the voice echoing in his head since birth and demands to know its identity and requirements.
The voice cryptically promises he will soon know its identity but remains focused on the trial at hand.
Dark wisps of energy begin to swirl around the young man as he sits in his bed.
A giant silhouette offers him a choice to undergo the trial, claiming it provides power needed to defeat evil gods. Without hesitation, Ro-hee declares his intent to pass the trial and gain the necessary strength to win.
Clenching his fist, the black-haired man signals his readiness to begin the intense divine challenge.
A sinister, toothy grin appears in the darkness as the trial is officially initiated by the voice.
The mysterious voice confirms the start of the challenge with a brief, ominous command.
Ro-hee is warned that failure means remaining in the trial space forever, while success allows him to leave.
He is pulled into a swirling blue vortex while marveling at the sacred and mysterious power of the gods. As the arena construction finishes, the young man wonders about the rewards waiting for him at the end.
A massive pillar of light strikes the center of a desolate landscape, marking his entry point.
The black-haired man lands firmly on the ground as dust and blue energy settle around him.
A close-up of Ro-hee's eye reflects his intense focus as he scans the area for threats.
Through the thick fog, a dark and imposing Gothic palace with glowing purple windows comes into view.
Ro-hee stares at the massive structure, questioning if the upcoming battle will take place inside it.
He stands ready as blue energy gathers at his feet, signaling the arrival of his opponent.
A silhouette explains that he must kill his opponent within 10 minutes in order to successfully leave the trial.
The view shifts to the detailed armor of the opponent as they prepare to engage in combat.
A voice provides a cryptic hint, stating that only wisdom that sees through everything can lead to victory.
The trial officially begins as the black-haired man faces off against a mysterious blindfolded warrior with long hair.
A massive blindfolded knight appears with a system notice identifying him as the invincible Oathkeeper without eyes. Looking up at the towering figure, Ro-hee prepares himself to face the strongest swordsman in existence.
The black-haired man smirks, finding the match between the top player and the strongest swordsman to be interesting.
A beam of light descends, granting him a sword to use for the duration of the intense fight.
Rohi attempts to use resonance on the provided sword, but finds it cannot resonate because it isn't real.
He realizes that his skill only works on physical objects and that the provided weapon is an illusion.
Deciding not to waste time, he prepares to push straight through the enemy and clear the trial quickly.
The knight unleashes a powerful swing, which Rohi successfully parries while challenging the swordsman's legendary strength.
Sparks fly as their blades meet, and the young man acknowledges the impressive power behind the knight's strikes.
The combat intensifies as the massive knight maneuvers with surprising speed, forcing the man to stay alert.
The armored warrior raises his greatsword high, preparing to deliver a devastating downward blow.
Rohi notes that despite using a heavy greatsword, the knight's follow-up attacks are incredibly fast and heavy. Seeing a shift in the warrior's stance, he realizes the knight is winding up for a finishing move.
The greatsword slams into the ground, creating a violent shockwave that tears up the rocky surface.
The black-haired man exploits an opening after the finisher, striking back to decide the fight with a single blow.
He stabs through the knight's chest, noting that killing an illusionary opponent causes no mental burden.
Rohi is confused when a fatal wound fails to stop the armored warrior's relentless advance. He suddenly understands the meaning of the knight's title as the strongest swordsman who will never be wounded.
The young man concludes that the Oathkeeper cannot be killed by any hand other than his own.
With the countdown approaching 4 minutes, Rohi searches for a non-physical way to kill his invulnerable opponent.
He reflects on the earlier hint about wisdom being the key to victory, searching for the hidden answer.
Rohi spots a skeleton behind the knight, realizing the truth about the protector's target.
Parrying the greatsword, he notes the warrior is desperately guarding the skeletal remains behind him.
The young man understands the knight's sole purpose is protecting the skeletal figure behind him.
To secure a victory, Rohi decides to exploit the knight's unbreakable vow of protection.
The countdown reaches 2 minutes as the silhouette notes the knight cannot be killed physically.
A strike to the knight's head causes a shockwave, revealing his pained expression through energy.
The mysterious entity is surprised that Rohi chose a strategy other than direct combat.
Rohi commands the Oathkeeper to open his eyes and witness the skeletal remains behind him.
Turning around, the knight finally sees the skeletal figure lingering right behind his armored shoulder.
Overwhelmed by shock, the warrior gasps as the truth of his failed oath sinks in, 15 words.
The knight collapses in tears, cradling the skeleton as his legendary invulnerability finally shatters.
Rohi explains that the Oathkeeper can only be defeated by witnessing his own failure.
The young man realizes the provided sword was just a distraction to test his wisdom. With 51 seconds left, Rohi confidently calls out to the entity hiding in mist.
The silhouette praises Rohi for seeing through the trial's simple but deceptive nature.
The divine voice declares Rohi worthy of receiving a true blessing from the gods.
Time passes momentarily as the scene prepares to shift back to the unfolding trial.
The atmosphere becomes charged with energy as the young man prepares for the next challenge.
The mysterious voice warns Rohi to brace himself as the true trial officially begins. The entity explains that a blessing requires withstanding the mental impact of all living beings.
Engulfed in a swirling blue vortex, Rohi stands firm against the gathering divine power.
He is bombarded by the intense prayers, pain, and joy of billions of human lives.
The mental strain becomes agonizing, causing Rohi to cry out as reality begins shattering. Terrifying visions of countless skeletons and death fill his mind during the intense mental trial. He falls through a void filled with screaming faces and grasping skeletal hands.
Fragments of human memories, like a wedding ceremony, flash before his eyes during the test.
Rohi marvels at the incredible faith and lives of everyone on Earth during the test. Despite the pain, he starts laughing from the thrill of gaining such an overwhelming power. He vows to use the god's support to defeat the evil gods invading his world. The silhouette announces the final wave of power, claiming no human can possibly withstand it.
A blinding explosion of cosmic energy consumes the area as the trial reaches its climax.
Looking down at the sight, the silhouette questions if the young man has finally fallen.
Rohi stands his ground, unimpressed by the attempt to break his strong mental will.
The entity finds him fascinating and confirms he has successfully earned a divine blessing. The voice promises a more ultimate blessing once Rohi earns full approval from the gods. The surrounding landscape begins to fade away as the intense trial officially comes to an end.
Rohi calls out to the disappearing voice, realizing he still has many unanswered questions.
Waking up in his hospital bed, he wonders about the specific power he just gained.
A notification identifies his new skill as Mental Aegis, granting him permanent immunity to mental effects.
He reflects on how his lifelong condition was actually the hidden key to saving humanity. Qingzai excitedly shows a new simulation video as Rohi scolds him for being loud.
While his mother watches happily, Rohi notes that official videos of beginner stages are everywhere.
He stares at his phone, processing the rapid changes occurring in the world around him.
Ro-hee notes that an official special player management task force has already been established.
Viewing the global rankings, he wonders if his actions will inspire other talented players to rise.
A nurse enters the ward announcing that a motorcade has arrived to pick Ro-hee up.
Xingzai rushes to the window, shocked to see the massive group waiting outside the hospital.
Looking down, the short-haired man is awestruck by the line of luxury cars and guards.
Zhang Shilin requests that Xu Cheng inform Ro-hee that they are here for him.
Qingzai is overwhelmed with awe, confirming the leader sent a full motorcade to pick him up.
Ro-hee prepares to leave the hospital, questioning the grandiosity of his wealthy escorts.
His mother expresses deep concern that their current situation might involve some dangerous criminal activity.
Ro-hee reassures his worried mother that he has done absolutely nothing illegal or wrong.
While Ro-hee claims to be saving the world, the nurse dismisses his strange comments.
A floating thought bubble promises that the whole world will eventually know the truth.
Ro-hee walks out with his entourage, inviting the guards to lead the way out.
The scene shifts to a massive, luxurious villa nestled between beautiful mountains and clear water.
Zhang Shilin describes the comfort of the villa, including 24-hour service from many dedicated staff.
Qingzai is utterly flabbergasted by the staggering cost and sheer scale of the massive property.
Zhang Shilin explains that the house is a unique, off-market private holding of his own.
The blonde man offers the entire priceless villa to Ro-hee if he likes it.
Qingzai's head nearly explodes at the thought of owning such a priceless, one-of-a-kind home.
Ro-hee rejects the villa and walks away, leaving both Zhang Shilin and Qingzai stunned.
A man in a suit and a teal-haired woman see their opportunity to win favor. A stylized title card appears, signaling a significant shift in the unfolding narrative events.
The man in the pinstripe suit presents a skyscraper overlooking the entirety of Qingshan City.
Qingzai is starstruck by the view from the center of the bustling metropolitan city. They look out from the high-rise window, marveling at the grand architectural design and scenery.
The man explains the landmark building was designed by a world-famous architect to be unique.
He describes the specific penthouse unit as the absolute crowning jewel of the entire structure.
The man prepares to reveal even more surprises he has arranged for Ro-hee's visit.
He claps his hands to summon the additional personal staff he has specially prepared.
A group of maids in uniform greets Ro-hee as their new master with enthusiasm.
Qingzai is instantly smitten by the sudden presence of so many beautiful, goddess-tier women.
The maids surround Ro-hee, offering complete devotion while Qingzai stares in total disbelief. The other competitors are shocked they didn't think of using beautiful women as a bribe.
The man in the pinstripe suit is confident no man could refuse such an offer.
Ro-hee dismisses the skyscraper and the maids, immediately asking to see the next option. The competitors are baffled by Ro-hee's indifference, while the teal-haired woman spots her chance.
The teal-haired woman invites Ro-hee to see her less luxurious but deeply meaningful choice.
Walking through a narrow alley, she mentions researching Ro-hee and his mother's emotional past. She presents a modest-looking residential building, asking Ro-hee if he recognizes the familiar place.
Ro-hee and Qingzai are stunned to realize this is Ro-hee's childhood family home.
The other male competitors realize they have completely lost against such a powerful emotional appeal.
The woman explains that she restored the interior to be comfortable despite the layout changing.
They enter the apartment, which she has painstakingly refurbished for comfort and a sense of nostalgia.
Ro-hee observes that the room is a perfect reconstruction of his cherished childhood memories.
Ro-hee chooses the modest home, leaving the woman honored while the men feel defeated.
Zhang Shilin and the other man lament their total loss against such a thoughtful strategy.
Ro-hee tells Qingzai to bring out the item they have been carrying for him.
The teal-haired woman is curious about the important item Ro-hee is about to show.
Qingzai hands over a stack of detailed guides for clearing all second-tier trial stages.
The woman is horrified that such priceless information was tucked carelessly into a simple waistband. She asks Ro-hee if these valuable guides are meant to be shared with everyone publicly.
Ro-hee says no, but instructs her to find promising players to give them to.
He explains that weak players who barely survive the beginner stage won't benefit from them.
Ro-hee turns away, noting that items alone cannot save those without any real talent.
He emphasizes the need to find outstanding players and help them adapt to the rules.
He believes that truly skilled players will naturally rise to the surface on their own.
The woman understands but wonders why Ro-hee is specifically selecting the strongest players only.
Ro-hee states he needs these strong players to help him save the world.
The teal-haired woman says his ideals are extraordinary while a game start countdown appears.
Qingzai appears with a massive backpack, telling Ro-hee he brought a lot of supplies. Ro-hee hugs Auntie Lu, promising to return soon as she asks where they are going. Qingzai excitedly shouts to Auntie Lo that they are off to adventure in another world.
A blue system window displays the official countdown for the start of the Prison Day game.
A notification announces the countdown is finished and selected players will now begin their teleportation.
Engulfed in blue light, Ro-hee bids a temporary farewell to Auntie Luo during his teleportation.
Ro-hee tells Qingzai he must clear this trial alone while Qingzai vows to get ranked.
Beams of blue energy crackle through the air as the players are fully transported away.
Ro-hee stands alone in a dark, empty room with a sword secured to his hip.
Ro-hee notes that the second stage is the frozen apartment, just like before.
Glowing fragments of light float through the air as the transition into the trial concludes.
A system notification welcomes the players and instructs them to find and defeat the floor boss.
Ro-hee claims the system's prompts are meant to mislead and the clear isn't simple.
Ro-hee determines that he needs a completely reliable partner to clear this specific stage.
He recalls the real condition involves luring 2 floor bosses to meet on a middle floor.
A vivid memory of being stabbed in the back by a shadow figure fills Ro-hee's mind.
Ro-hee activates a special permanent team-forming card, causing a brilliant light to erupt. A silver-haired woman materializes within a column of blue light, looking surprised to be summoned.
Ro-hee and the silver-haired woman exchange shocked looks as the teleportation light fades away.
Woo-ree is shocked to see Ro-hee and wonders where she has ended up.
A stylized recruitment page marks a brief pause in the narrative before the trial continues. A promotional card for the comic appears as the scene prepares to shift back to characters. Ro-hee notes he invited Woo-ree, recalling her past trauma on a survival island stage.
Ro-hee vows to protect her from more hurt while Woo-ree asks how he know.
A screen welcomes Woo-ree to the frozen apartment as she recognizes the game from videos. Ro-hee identifies the game as Prison Day as a door-opening countdown appears.
Ro-hee asks Woo-roo to be his teammate, mirroring a significant moment from their past.
A flashback reveals a young boy reaching out to a crying young girl under a tree.
In the memory, the young boy asks the young girl if she will play with him.
Woo-ree happily agrees to the team-up, while Ro-hee notes the similarity to back then.
The two characters clasp hands firmly, signaling the start of their official partnership for the trial.
Ro-hee explains the apartment is a maze and warns Woo-ree about the monsters there.
Ro-hee describes the complex maze structure as the shadow of a massive monster looms behind.
Woo-ree notes they must make the bosses meet to clear while Ro-hee opens the door.
Woo-roo promises to be a worthy teammate as the countdown reaches its final few seconds.
Woo-ree shivers from the cold as Ro-hee heads toward the locations of the monsters.
Ro-hee spots a man and recognizes him as the betrayer from his previous life's trial.
The man identifies them as players while Ro-hee anticipates his request to team up.
Ro-hee recalls the man as a despicable scumbag who previously betrayed his own teammates.
He remembers how the man cowardly hid behind him during every fight in their previous life.
A close-up of a sinister smile reveals the man's hidden, dark, and malicious true personality.
Ro-hee recalls finally defeating a floor boss with everything he had in the previous timeline.
The man stabbed Ro-hee in the back to steal his cards and leave him dead.
The man suggests they team up to watch each other's backs and handle monsters together.
The betrayer secretly plans to kill Ro-hee and keep Woo-ree for himself later on.
He eyes the superior sword, greedy to claim the weapon once Ro-hee is dead.
The man offers a handshake, urging them to stick together in this screwed-up game.
Ro-hee strikes first, stabbing the betrayer and leaving him to fend for himself alone.
Ro-hee stands over his defeated foe and asks Woo-roo if she has any questions.
Trusting his judgment, Woo-ree agrees to follow Ro-hee to find some attribute cards.
Shards of ice float through the hallway as the harsh environment of the trial intensifies. Liu Mao observes from the shadows, identifying Ro-hee as the world's top-ranked player.
Liu Mao notes Ro-hee's unpredictable nature and decides he is someone worth watching closely.
Ro-hee kicks a door open, warns Woo-ree of monsters, and spots a frost wraith.
The hanging frost wraith shrieks with murderous intent as it lunges toward the intruders. Woo-ree gasps in shock as the monster suddenly appears and targets them.
The creature's terrifying blue eye and sharp fangs close in for a lethal strike.
Ro-hee tells the creature it is too noisy before delivering a swift, silencing blow.
A massive shockwave erupts as Ro-hee's powerful attack completely overwhelms the frost wraith.
The monster dissipates, leaving behind a stamina attribute card that leaves Woo-ree wide-eyed.
Woo-ree asks Ro-hee if he has always been this brutal when fighting monsters.
Ro-hee explains that while some enemies are difficult, this one was just exceptionally weak.
Woo-ree wonders if Ro-hee faces monsters as terrifying as those in horror movies.
Ro-hee hands Woo-ree the card and explains how to use it to gain stats.
Woo-ree focuses her mind, causing the card to erupt in a pillar of light.
A system window confirms Woo-ree's stat increase as Ro-hee leads her onward.
Woo-ree is delighted to find that her improved stats make the biting cold bearable.
Ro-hee asks if he knows the game so well because he enjoys playing it.
Ro-hee stops walking, his sudden silence casting a heavy, somber mood over the hallway.
Seeing his dark expression, Woo-ree nervously asks if she said something wrong. 14 words.
Ro-hee grimly clarifies that he doesn't find the game fun. He intends to destroy it. Ro-hee's intense, focused gaze reveals the deep-seated hatred he harbors for the cruel system. Woo-ree trusts Ro-hee's reasons as the remains of another monster vanish into thin air. A monster roars and lunges at Woo-ree, catching her completely off guard.
Ro-hee catches the beast by its throat mid-air with an expression of cold indifference. 15 words.
With a single, effortless squeeze, Ro-hee crushes the monster's head, ending the brief struggle. Ro-hee notes the difficulty of the stage as he laments the lack of a card.
Ro-hee explains that floor bosses guarantee drops and urges Woo-ree to find them.
Wu Ri looks up at Ro He and gives her simple, quiet confirmation of his plan.
Other players wander aimlessly through the freezing maze, shivering and begging for warmth or exits.
Wu Ri marvels at Ro He's perfect navigation compared to the other confused players.
Ro He explains that the temperature drops 1 degree every 5 minutes in this apartment.
Ro He warns that failing to find the boss will result in everyone freezing to death.
The frozen hallway stands as a silent testament to the deadly fate awaiting the players. 15 words. Thick layers of frost spread rapidly across the walls as the trial's temperature continues to plummet.
Ro He recalls the boss's location, noting that the temperature drops faster on other floors.
Liu Mao watches them, wondering about Ro He's goal and criticizing the vague system hints.
Liu Mao hopes that the world's top player will live up to his high expectations.
The two partners reach a secluded corner deep within the labyrinth of the frozen apartment.
Ro He explains that the floor boss hides well and needs noise to be drawn up. A voice calls out to Ro He from the darkness, interrupting their search for the boss. An arrogant red-haired man with a smirk demands that Ro He speak to him. The red-haired man stands defiantly with his hands in his pockets, flanked by 2 others. Ro He ignores the man's boasting, prompting the red-haired player to bark an angry retort.
Watching from the shadows, Liu Mao wonders what rank the noisy newcomer holds in the game. 16 words.
Ro He asks for the man's rank, noting he only remembers the top 10 players. The man, Zhang Qi, boasts about his current rank and his plan to become number 1.
Ro He and Wu Ri stare in silence at Zhang Qi's unimpressive world ranking.
Liu Mao watches from the shadows, scoffing at the over-the-top display of emotions.
Ro He addresses the challenger by his rank, while Zhang Qi demands respect and first place.
Zhang Qi lunges forward to attack while Ro He prepares an effortless, swift counterstrike. The arrogant challenger is sent flying backward as his companions watch in utter disbelief. Ro He dismissively tells the lower-ranked player to stay out of his way.
A hand reaches for a hidden weapon as Zhang Qi refuses to end the confrontation.
Zhang Qi orders his group to attack for loot while vowing to retaliate for the slap.
Ro He decides to school the group with a non-lethal lesson rather than using his sword.
Ro He retrieves a wooden pole and prepares to teach the arrogant group a lesson.
A recruitment notice for translators and editors marks a brief pause in the action.
The chapter title card features a determined Ro He surrounded by crackling blue energy.
Ro He activates a resonance skill to evaluate his improvised wooden weapon and lure the boss.
A system window explains the resonance mechanics and stats boost for the improvised Rukken.
Ro He notes that his new evaluation skill will be very useful for future items.
Zhang Qi mocks Ro He for not using his sword while Ro He remains entirely unfazed. Zhang Qi commands his companions to charge while the world's top player stands heady. The companions hesitate in fear, prompting Zhang Qi to berate them for their obvious cowardice. Terrified by the world #1 title, the lackeys question their leader's reckless decision. Refusing to be insulted, Zhang Qi ignores his title and lunges with a sharp dagger.
Ro He focuses his energy, intending to create a massive commotion to draw out his target.
Ro He delivers a painful blow to the head, leaving Zhang Qi crying out in agony. Zhang Qi screams in excruciating pain as Wu Ru and the other players watch, horrified. The defeated challenger collapses to his knees, clutching his head and sobbing from the pain.
Ro He observes the scene, satisfied that the loud scream will attract the floor boss.
A thick green vine whips through the hallway with terrifying speed toward the gathered group. The powerful vine coils tightly around Zhang Qi, lifting him helplessly into the air. High above the ground, Zhang Qi screams in terror as the vine drags him away.
The lackeys panic as their leader is taken while Ro He and Wu Ri observe. Ro He identifies the attacker as the floor boss required to open the path forward.
Ro He instructs Wu Ri to follow him closely but maintain a controlled pace.
Wu Ru marvels at his speed and fantasizes about becoming a superhero with enough stats.
Liu Mao observes Ro He's tactical prowess, realizing his intent was always to lure the boss.
Recognizing the benefits, Liu Mao considers paying any price to join Ro He's team. Trapped and helpless, Zhang Qi desperately begs for someone to free him from the vines.
The companions shout threats at the beast, demanding that their boss be released immediately.
The lackeys charge forward but are suddenly intercepted by the creature's swift, deadly vines.
Blood sprays through the air as the floor boss ruthlessly strikes down the charging players.
The monstrous mutant man-eating flower reveals its stats as Zhang Qi begs for his life.
The creature's massive, circular maw filled with rows of sharp teeth prepares to feed.
From within the darkness, the beast watches Ro He approach with his glowing sword drawn.
Ro He prepares to strike as Zhang Qi finally recognizes the world's #1 player.
Zhang Qi fears for his life after his previous provocation as Ro He attacks the boss. A massive explosion of blue energy erupts as Ro He delivers a devastating, powerful slash.
The colossal monster is vaporized instantly by the overwhelming force of Ro He's singular strike.
Zhang Qi realizes he has been saved by the very man he attempted to rob.
Ro He's indifference makes the saved player feel a deep sense of shame and humiliation.
Ro He challenges Zhang Qi to earn a fair fight by reaching the world's top 10.
Full of renewed determination, Zhang Qi vows to reach the top 10 and thanks his savior.
A glowing exit path opens as Ro-hee explains the mechanics for moving between stages. A system notification presents a choice to ascend and face the apartment's mutated inhabitants.
A system window directs the players to descend and face the apartment's terrifying dead inhabitants.
Ro-hee and Woo-rui stand before a system prompt requiring a choice within 5 minutes.
Woo-rui notes that there are 2 different options and asks Ro-hee which one they should pick. Zhang-chi suggests both options are scary for girls, while Woo-rui questions his assumption about fear. Woo-rui secretly relishes the idea of monsters and ghosts, noting that both choices sound exciting. Woo-rui hides her excitement to avoid looking crazy before asking Ro-hee for his preferred choice.
Woo-rui struggles to maintain her composure, her eyes wide with a mix of shock and anticipation. 16 words. Woo-rui finds it impossible to choose between the 2 options and wishes she could pick both.
A man with glasses approaches the group and asks Ro-hee to take him along as well.
The man introduces himself as Liu Mao, a high-ranking player who promises to be a useful teammate. A recruitment notice for translators and editors features several characters and detailed contribution lists for supporters. Ro-hee acknowledges Liu Mao's arrival while Woo-rui and Zhang-chi react to his high ranking.
Ro-hee reveals that he has known Li Mao was tailing them for a long time.
Ro-hee explains he didn't expose Liu Mao because the man saved his life in the past.
Liu Mao asks Ro-hee if he was aware of his presence the entire time.
Liu Mao stands silently in the hallway, his hands in his pockets as he awaits a response.
Ro-hee recalls a past betrayal that left him bleeding on the ground and near death.
Ro-hee remembers how Liu Mao intervened, offering him a chance to survive as a teammate.
Under the expert's lead, the 2 work together to slowly clear the stages of the game.
Liu Mao reflects on how Ro-hee was once like a savior to him during difficult times.
Liu Mao looks down at his reflection on the floor, deep in thought about his past actions. A memory of a bloody hand and broken glasses on the ground symbolizes a tragic past event.
Ro-hee reflects that even those who grow stronger in prison day are merely toys for others.
Ro-hee stands in the rain, lamenting the cruel fate of players within the apartment's deadly system. Liu Mao asks Ro-hee if he is worried, while Zhang-chi scoffs at Liu Mao standing.
Ro-hee accepts Liu Mao into the group, stating that someone with his strength is needed.
Liu Mao offers a gift of respect, but Ro-hee declines because Liu Mao previously repaid him.
Liu Mao notes that Ro-hee doesn't need the cards but offers them to the elegant Woo-rui.
Woo-rui is ecstatic at the prospect of becoming a superwoman with the new stat cards. 16 words.
Ro-hee allows Woo-rui to accept the cards to grow stronger, prompting her to thank Liu Mao. Liu Mao admits he wouldn't trust Ro-hee without mutual benefits and promises a future repayment.
Ro-hee leads the group forward, warning them that the next floor's boss will be even stronger.
Woo-rui and Liu Mao confirm they will follow Ro-hee's lead as they head downstairs.
Zhang-chi determinedly vows to join the group by proving his worth to Ro-hee immediately.
Zhang-chi calls out to Ro-hee, begging to be allowed to join their group's descent.
Ro-hee dismissively tells Zhang-chi to get lost, his voice filled with cold, sharp authority.
Ro-hee casts a stern backward glance as the group moves forward without the arrogant player.
Zhang-chi is left stuttering in shock after being abruptly rejected by the world's top player.
Ro-hee outlines the structure of the apartment, explaining they are moving through 7 total floors.
Liu Mao asks Ro-hee if he is familiar with the weaknesses of the final bosses.
Ro-hee explains that the final bosses in this stage cannot be killed by the players.
A diagram shows the path between floors, indicating that bringing the 2 bosses together is key.
Liu Mao clarifies the plan to split into 2 groups to draw the bosses together. Ro-hee explains his plan to lure the bottom boss to the top floor so they encounter each other.
Liu Mao marvels at the bold plan, noting that normal players couldn't stay calm while being chased.
Woo-rui wonders if Ro-hee originally intended for her to take on the bosses alone.
Ro-hee tells Woo-rui that her safety is more important than a risky solo mission, causing joy.
Woo-rui sneezes as the biting cold of the lower floor begins to affect her.
Woo-rui shivers, noting that even with improved stats, the floor's temperature is nearly unbearable.
Ro-hee warns that the temperature on the 2nd floor drops twice as fast as before.
Ro-hee insists they find the floor's boss immediately as the group enters a new area.
The monstrous Hound King Aras growls, surrounded by a horde of glowing-eyed undead servants. Liu Mao praises Ro-hee's navigation skills before Ro-hee mentions memories forged through life and death.
Liu Mao questions how Ro-hee could have previous experience when the game is brand new.
A system window displays the D-rank boss's high agility and strength stats for the Hound King. A blinding flash of light signals the start of the battle against the icy floor boss.
Ro-hee tells the others to protect themselves from frost wraiths while he engages the boss.
Liu Mao reassures Ro-hee by promising to keep Woo-rui safe during the chaotic battle.
Ro-hee charges toward the giant wolf while thinking about Liu Mao's reliability in protecting their ally.
The massive beast lets out a deafening roar as Ro-hee leaps into the air. Ro-hee's sword strikes the boss's snout in a fast-paced clash of steel and fur.
Multiple frost wraiths lunge forward with terrifying speed, targeting the 2 players left behind.
Liu Mao warns Woo-rui of the approaching enemies and tells her to take cover behind him. Action sequences show Liu Mao striking the undead wraiths with precise, powerful palm strikes.
An impact sends shockwaves through the room as Liu Mao holds back the wave of enemies, 16 words.
Liu Mao boasts about his martial arts lineage and claims the wraiths are no match for him.
Wu Ri surprises Liu Mao by delivering a powerful punch that knocks a monster away instantly. Wu Ru celebrates her new combat abilities while Liu Mao marvels at her unexpected strength and poise.
A recruitment notice for translators and editors features detailed contributor lists and several stylized characters.
The giant wolf lunges at Rohi, who narrowly evades the creature's massive snapping jaws. Rohi identifies a brief opening in the monster's defense and prepares to deliver a strike.
Multiple blue energy slashes cut through the air as Rohi attacks the boss with speed. Rohi continues his aerial assault, keeping the massive Hound King pinned down with constant strikes.
Liu Mao observes the fight and wonders why Rohi is intentionally avoiding the boss's vitals. The temperature plummets dangerously as the icy room begins to freeze everyone within its walls.
Liu Mao stares intently at the battlefield, trying to decipher Rohi's mysterious combat strategy.
Rohi realizes that killing the boss normally would trigger a berserk state and lower rewards.
Rohi explains that the hidden story event requires bringing the boss's health down to exactly 1%.
Aras prepares its D-rank Roar of the Wind skill as its health bar drops toward 30%. Rohi warns the group that the boss is about to unleash a devastating area attack. Rohi leaps away while instructing his teammates to focus entirely on their own protection.
Liu Mao chooses to trust Rohi, stating that his loyalty never wavers once he picks a lord.
Liu Mao pulls Wu Ri toward a safe corner as the boss's wind attack begins to erupt.
A colossal explosion of icy wind consumes the hallway, tearing through everything in its path.
As the wind subsides, Wu Ri expresses relief and thanks Liu Mao for his quick thinking. Wu Ri tries to rush out to help Rohi, but Liu Mao holds her back firmly.
Liu Mao insists they stay put and trust Rohi's ability to handle the boss solo. Wu Ri suggests checking on the battle as the wind weakens, but Liu Mao remains cautious.
Rohi's voice tells the pair to come out now, while Wu Ri recognizes his voice.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao run toward the center of the room to find their leader.
The two companions stop in their tracks, looking on with expressions of pure shock and disbelief.
Aras lies defeated on the ground with its health precisely managed at a critical 1%.
Wu Ri praises Rohi as a superhero while Liu Mao feels ignorant for doubting his safety.
Rohi prepares to activate the hidden quest while Liu Mao realizes the purpose of his restraint.
Wu Ri expresses pure excitement at the idea of participating in a rare and cool hidden quest.
Rohi offers to reunite the fallen wolf boss with its master if it chooses to follow him.
Rohi gestures toward the downed wolf with his sword, waiting for a reaction.
The giant wolf gazes back with glowing blue eyes, its aggression replaced by a look of submission.
The defeated boss lets out a soft, mournful howl as it accepts the player's proposal.
A system prompt appears, asking Rohi if he will accept the boss into his party.
Rohi presses the confirmation button on the floating screen to finalize his decision.
A system notification confirms Eris has joined the party, triggering a lucrative hidden quest.
Rewards appear on screen, including attribute cards and a ring that can store inanimate objects.
Rohi notes he can still use the D-rank cards while his status updates with a mental immunity buff. Rohi activates the attribute cards, causing his strength and stamina levels to increase immediately. A glowing card details the storage ring's ability to hold 5 cubic meters of items.
Rohi equips the storage ring and remarks on how much more convenient inventory management will be.
Rohi looks down at the tiny creature and asks if this is its true form. A small blue-eyed puppy with thick gray fur sits and wags its tail happily. Wu Ri asks if the small creature was the boss while Liu Mao finds it incredibly cute.
Rohi offers to show its original form, causing Wu Ri to tense up in nervous anticipation.
Wu Ri is overwhelmed by the massive spectral silhouette of the wolf boss looming behind the puppy.
Rohi clarifies he was joking and confirms the puppy state is its current true form. Wu Ri questions if all the bosses in this area are actually cute little creatures like this. Liu Mao suggests that if the bosses are all cute, the person who made the game is quite cruel. Rohi agrees about the game's darkness, while Wu Ri realizes his true goal is to destroy it. Floating blue data rectangles move across a dark, textured brick wall in a mysterious transition. The group stands at the edge of a staircase leading toward a glowing portal of light.
A strange, high-pitched animal sound echoes from the dark depths of the stairs below them.
Wu Ri excitedly identifies the sound as a cat while Li Mao questions if a feline is below.
Aras barks as Rohi corrects them, stating the sound belongs to the boss of the next floor.
Rohi urges the group forward, mentioning the wolf is ready to reunite with its old friend.
A recruitment notice for translators features a stylized dog in a hat and various contact details. A credits page lists contributors and features a character with a glowing hand and blue hair. A status window details the freezing temperature and level statistics of the second basement floor. A close-up shot shows a boot stepping onto the cold, snowy floor of the new area. Several frost wraiths with glowing purple eyes and sharp teeth emerge from the freezing fog. Wu Ri points out the increased monster count while Rohi explains the difficulty scaling on this floor.
The frost wraiths let out a terrifying roar as they lunge forward to attack the group.
Ro-Hee offers a confident smile as he prepares to face the approaching wave of enemies.
Ro-Hee draws his weapon, ready to strike the monsters closing in on their position.
A massive, glowing energy slash tears through the air, obliterating several monsters in its path.
An explosion of blue energy clears the hallway as Ro-Hee unleashes his devastating combat power.
Liu Mao tells Ro-Hee to focus on the boss while he fights, prompting Ro-Hee to admire his growth.
Liu Mao executes rapid fluid martial arts movements, striking down multiple frost wraiths with ease.
Blurs of motion fill the panel as Liu Mao systematically dismantles the attacking monster horde. Liu Mao instructs his teammates to stay safely behind him as he prepares to engage the enemy.
Wu Ri is impressed by Liu Mao's martial arts skills as she watches him protect the group.
Ro-Hee questions if Liu Mao actually knows the boss's location before he attempts to lead them.
Liu Mao stutters and admits his ignorance when asked for the specific location of the floor boss.
Several monsters creep up silently behind the distracted martial artist, preparing to pounce on him. Wu Ri screams a warning to Liu Mao about the monsters lunging at him from his blind spot.
Liu Mao realizes he has let the enemies get too close and prepares for a difficult impact.
Liu Mao hears Ro-Hee's voice just before a massive intervention saves him from the monsters. A brilliant red energy beam incinerates the monsters behind Liu Mao in a single strike.
The corridor is bathed in red light as a massive energy blast clears out the enemies.
Liu Mao is stunned by Ro-Hee's overwhelming power while the small wolf puppy barks in agreement.
Liu Mao acknowledges Ro-Hee's incredible strength while their leader signals they have found the boss's room.
The impact of the blast sends the remaining frost wraiths flying back against the stone walls. Ro-Hee leads the group forward, identifying the specific door where the floor boss is located.
A sharp blue energy slash tears through the air with a forceful sound, 14 words. The group confronts the floor boss, a massive white cat with glowing red markings.
The giant feline lets out a powerful roar that echoes throughout the frozen chamber.
Wu Ru calls the giant cat cute while Liu Mao and Ro-Hee discuss its high agility.
Ro-Hee states that they must use other methods to defeat the extremely fast boss.
Ro-Hee asks Wu Ri to hold Eris while he prepares for the next move.
Ro-Hee explains that Aras's presence triggers a hidden rule that debuffs the floor boss.
Ro-Hee instructs his two teammates to handle the frost wraiths while he fights the boss.
Liu Mao and Wu Ri confidently agree to follow the plan and engage the enemies. Liu Mao observes Wu Ri's lack of experience as Ro-Hee lunges toward the boss.
The giant cat boss roars as several frost wraiths move to attack the group.
A swarm of frost wraiths with glowing purple eyes lunge toward the attacking hero.
Ro-Hee tells the approaching monsters not to get in his way as he strikes.
A powerful energy slash cuts through the frost wraiths as Ro-Hee charges forward.
Streaks of motion fill the air as the hero moves with incredible combat speed.
A close-up shot captures Ro-Hee's boot as he pushes off the snowy ground.
Ro-Hee leaps high into the air with Eris as glowing energy arcs around them. The massive cat boss roars again, its face filled with rage and red energy.
Ro-Hee notes the boss has started its attack and must be stopped immediately.
Ro-Hee commands the wolf puppy to bark as he executes a mid-air maneuver.
Aras lets out a powerful, glowing bark that echoes through the frozen basement room.
A blinding flash of light strikes the boss, disrupting its movements and focused attack. A system window confirms Little Boss has sensed Eris, causing significant stat reductions.
Ro-Hee declares that now is the time to deliver the final finishing blow.
A massive beam of red energy strikes down toward the weakened cat boss with force.
The entire panel is filled with a blinding white light from the massive energy impact.
An explosion of energy leaves the boss defeated with its health at 1%.
Ro-Hee stands before the downed, panting cat boss as the dust begins to settle. 16 words.
Ro-Hee states that the first part is finished and prepares for the next step.
Ro-Hee invites the boss to join his party and reunite with its master below.
Little Boss gazes back with glowing orange eyes, its former aggression replaced by submission.
Aras barks happily at its feline companion, encouraging the creature to join the group.
Little Boss lets out a soft meow, signaling its acceptance of Ro-Hee's offer.
A system prompt asks Ro-Hee to confirm the recruitment of the floor boss. A swirling vortex of blue energy consumes the area as the recruitment process finalized.
Ro-Hee stands amidst the dissipating energy as the boss's transformation begins to occur.
Ro-Hee receives several attribute cards as rewards while a small cat sits nearby.
A system notification details the D-rank item card for an incomplete upgrade core's effects.
Ro-Hee plans to upgrade his sword while his status window updates with boosted stats.
A system window confirms the recruitment of both pets, granting a party-wide combat buff.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao express excitement about the special buff and increased rewards.
Wu Ru asks if the passage to the next floor has opened as a portal appears.
Ro-Hee leads the group forward toward the portal to face the basement's final challenge.
Ro-Hee reflects on how the first boss couldn't be killed in the normal way.
A close-up of Ro-Hee's face shows his determined expression as they move forward.
The group descends a dark, icy staircase as the temperature becomes painfully cold.
Ro-Hee examines his blue vein sword and decides to use the upgrade core card immediately.
A bright blue aura surrounds the weapon as the upgrade process begins to take effect.
A powerful flash of energy radiates from the sword as the enhancement is successfully completed.
A detailed window reveals the upgraded Blue Vein Sword stats and the new Skyrending Slash skill.
Luo Shi reflects on his high level and the Blue Vein Sword's newly triggered second skill.
A status window details the Blue Vein Sword's evolution, unique skills, and permanent soulbound special trait.
Luo Shi approves of the strength boost and prepares to draw the sword's next skill.
The drawing process begins as Luo Xi stands before the sword surrounded by floating skill cards.
Luo Xi explains the color-coded skill grades while anticipating the Blue Vein Sword's second unique skill.
Lu Shi decisively reaches out and selects a purple skill card from the swirling collection.
The draw is finalized as Luo Xi holds the glowing purple card in his hand. The purple card radiates a powerful energy as it prepares to bestow its new power.
Lu Shi gains the B rank skill Surging Wind, which provides a significant agility level increase.
Luo Xi tests the new agility buff, satisfied with the straightforward and useful combat improvement.
A system window identifies a wandering frost wraith, displaying its level and basic combat statistics.
Numerous frost wraiths of varying levels and strengths are detected throughout the cold basement corridor.
Wu Ri notes the increased monster density as the group prepares for the bottom floor's challenges.
Luo Xi instructs his teammates to handle the smaller monsters to increase their own levels. Liu Mao expresses concern as Luo Xi heads off to confront the floor boss alone. Luo Xi charges ahead, leaving his companions behind to clear the path and strengthen themselves. 15 words.
A terrifying frost wraith lunges forward, prompting Li Mao to shout a warning to Wu Ri.
A sudden, powerful impact strikes the monster as the group begins their defensive combat engagement.
Wu Ri demonstrates her improved combat prowess by swiftly engaging the attacking horde of frost wraiths.
Wu Ri unleashes her martial training, her stats reflecting the growth she has achieved so far.
Wu Ri pushes herself to new limits, motivated by her strong desire to protect Luo Shi.
Liu Mao observes Wu Ru's hidden strength, noting how she changes when Luo Shi is away.
A purple-eyed frost wraith attempts a surprise attack on the distracted blue-haired martial artist.
Liu Mao quickly recovers and executes a decisive strike, cutting through the approaching monster's defenses.
Liu Mao adjusts his glasses and resolves to fight with full effort against the horde.
A swarm of aggressive frost wraiths surrounds Liu Mao as he prepares for a serious confrontation.
The frost wraiths let out piercing, unearthly shrieks as they close in on their target. A grim pile of skulls and bones litters the floor of the boss's chilling chamber.
The final boss, the Frozen Shade Maiden, is revealed along with her high-level combat stats.
The towering Frozen Shade Maiden welcomes Luo Shi with a menacing, bloodthirsty threat as they meet.
Lu Shi calculates a strategy to use the pet's cries to awaken the boss's past memories.
The maiden fixates on Luo Shi's presence, her purple eyes glowing with an intense hunger.
Driven by madness, the Frozen Shade Maiden lunges forward to claim the hero's life essence.
Luo Xi commands the pets to use their voices, hoping to trigger the boss's latent memories.
Eris joins in with a loud howl, causing the maiden to pause in sudden, bewildered hesitation. 15 words.
A system alert confirms that the attempt to awaken the maiden's human memories has failed.
The boss laughs maniacally and unleashes a powerful blast of frozen energy across the room.
Luo Xi comforts the pets, accepting that the memory awakening plan was a difficult gamble.
The Frozen Shade Maiden resumes her relentless attack, her mind fully consumed by violent bloodlust.
Luo Xi utilizes his superior agility to narrowly evade the boss's massive sweeping claw attack.
Luo Xi focuses on stalling the boss to allow his teammates more time to level.
Liu Mao announces that all the minor frost wraiths in the area have been eliminated.
Updated status windows show significant level and stock gains for both Liu Mao and Wu Ri.
A massive rhythmic thudding sound echoes through the hall, startling the two remaining teammates.
Wu Ru wonders if the approaching noise signifies Luo Shi leading the floor boss toward them.
Wu Ri's expression brightens at the prospect of Lui's return, surprising her teammate again.
Luo Shi sprints back into view with the massive spectral boss trailing close behind him.
The Frozen Shade Maiden continues her furious pursuit, nearly striking Luo Shi as he retreats.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao are stunned by the sheer size of the bottom floor boss.
The group reunites in the freezing chamber, bracing themselves for the boss's impending arrival.
Lu Shi suggests they head back the way they came to reach the top floor.
The Frozen Shade Maiden laughs maniacally while surrounded by glowing ice crystals.
Jingzai offers to take the boss's attacks, but Luo Shi notes it is locked onto him.
A system window confirms that the Frozen Shade Maiden has locked onto player Luo Shi.
The Frozen Shade Maiden demands blood and tells the living person not to run.
Glowing ice crystals shatter as the Frozen Shade Maiden continues her relentless laughter.
Wu Ri and Qingzai admire Luo Shi's calm demeanor while being chased by a terrifying monster.
Monsters with glowing purple eyes gather as Luo Shi explains they respawn until the boss dies. The group defends themselves against a massive charging monster with glowing purple eyes.
Luo Xi observes that his companions have grown significantly stronger during their recent battles.
Other players within the frozen apartment struggle, suffering from cold and the monster's constant attacks.
Zheng Qi, boasting about his strength, tells everyone not to be shocked by his performance.
An unexpected shaking occurs, causing Zhang Qi and his followers to wonder if it's an earthquake.
Zhang Qi looks up in shock as a large object falls from the floors above.
Zhang Qi realizes the final boss from below is running up, contrary to the game's info.
Qingzai shouts for everyone to get out of the way as the final boss approaches.
Zhang Qi attempts to act cool and confront the monster, identifying himself and refusing to retreat.
Zhang Qi's followers panic and try to wake him up after he is quickly incapacitated.
Lu explains that the boss won't attack others once it has locked onto its target.
As they head up, a system notification warns of the mutated apartment creatures they will face.
Luoxi explains the tragic connection between the top floor boss and the bottom floor final boss.
Narrated text describes the top boss's grief after his wife died during childbirth due to negligence.
The text explains that the daughter grew up lonely, with only pets for company while her father worked.
A tragic flashback shows the daughter being killed in a car accident right before her father's eyes.
The game's creators captured their souls, trapping the father and daughter forever within the building.
Luo Shi reveals that only by reuniting the two can their resentment be eased and the stage cleared.
His companions reflect on the boss's tragic backstories while battling powerful monsters in the hallway.
A system window identifies the D-rank boss Quack Doctor Chainsaw Maniac responsible for many patient deaths. Wu Ri and Qingzai identify the monstrous doctor while Lu Shi prepares his sword to strike.
Luo Shi tells everyone to get down as he launches a powerful, glowing, cross-shaped attack.
The brilliant energy of Luo Shi's strike slices through the hallway, leaving a trail of light.
The massive Crack Doctor boss is overwhelmed by the force of Luo Shi's devastating energy slash.
A system notification confirms that the D-rank boss Quack Doctor Chainsaw Maniac has been defeated.
Luoxi continues his swift descent, moving past the fallen boss towards the next floor.
Nearby players are stunned by Lu Shi's power, wondering if he is a high-ranking big shot.
The frozen Shade Maiden continues her pursuit, laughing as she moves through the frozen hallway.
Shocked players realize the bottom floor ultimate boss has appeared on a much higher floor.
Terrified players cower as the frozen Shade Maiden leaps past them, ignoring them for her target.
Players speculate that the previous team lured the boss up after clearing all the floors below. A system window identifies the next opponent as the D-rank boss Modified Truck Driver Level 11. Statistics for the Modified Truck Driver reveal its high strength and illegal, reckless power-increasing modifications. The massive, mutated truck driver prepares to launch a heavy, crushing punch toward the hero. Luo Shi remains composed as he executes a fluid, agile kick to counter the boss's strike.
A system notification confirms the defeat of the D-rank boss Modified Truck Driver in one blow.
Luoxi stands ready with his sword as a dark, monstrous shadow looms in the background. The three companions run together into a snowy doorway, moving deeper into the frozen apartment. An observer notes that these people are anomalies for clearing the god's design so quickly. A system window identifies a level 10 mutated freak roaming the top floor of the apartment.
Numerous blue-skinned mutated freaks gather in the snowy hallway, their eyes glowing with purple light.
The mutated freaks turn their attention toward the intruders as a heavy thud echoes nearby.
Luoxi leads his teammates through a freezing corridor while a massive creature gives chase.
Luoxi orders the group to rush toward the door leading to the top floor boss.
A terrifying blue monster with glowing eyes unleashes a deafening roar within the dark passage.
Luoxi commands the others to move forward alone while he handles the remaining monsters.
Luo shouts for them to go as the teammates plunge into a deep opening.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao land in a new room, realizing they have broken through. A system window informs the party that they have entered the top floor boss's domain.
The top floor boss, Frozen Calamity, is revealed to be level 15 with high stats.
The boss is described with the Frozen Breath skill, appearing different than Wu Ri expected. A massive door slams shut, sealing the two companions inside the final boss's chilling chamber.
Wu Ri asks what is happening while Liu Mao cries out for their separated leader.
A system alert states the door cannot be reopened until external conditions are met by players.
The Frozen Calamity boss lets out a massive roar as the trapped teammates prepare themselves.
Liu Mao says they must hold out alone while Wu Ri resolves to fight desperately.
A mission triggers for Luo Shi to kill all mutated freaks within a 5-minute countdown.
Luo Shi notes that this triggered mission is appearing much earlier than in his past life.
Luoxi examines the area, noting something that did not exist in his previous life's memories. Luoxi suspects an evil god is monitoring them, noticing changes caused by his own rebirth. Luo Shi draws his blade, intending to clear the room at maximum speed to save his friends.
A powerful strike hits the ground, signaling the start of the hero's rapid-fire combat assault.
Multiple streaks of red energy fill the panel as Luo Shi slices through his monstrous enemies. The countdown timer shows 4 minutes and 49 seconds as Luo Shi maintains his momentum.
The blue monsters attempt to flee as their behavioral patterns change under the mission's influence.
Luo Shi mocks the monster's speed, claiming they are no match for him in a race.
A massive spectral hand lunges toward Luo Shi, catching him off guard during the frantic battle.
The frozen Shade Maiden reappears, delivering a powerful blow that creates a massive icy shockwave.
Luoxi realizes the Shade Maiden he dragged along will interfere with his tight time limit.
The maiden threatens to spill the hero's fresh blood as she summons sharp ice crystals.
A close-up captures Luo Shi's intense gaze as he reacts to the maiden's lethal threat.
A massive explosion of ice shards erupts as the hero counters the maiden's spectral attack. Billowing white mist and frozen energy fill the area after the intense collision of powers. The maiden laughs maniacally, asking where the hero's blood is as she stalks through mist.
Shattered ice floats in the air as the freezing atmosphere of the corridor intensifies further.
Luo Shi dives through the air with his sword, closing the distance to strike the boss. A system prompt confirms the activation of Skyrending Slash's second stage, granting a strength boost.
Luoxi executes a massive vertical slash that glows with blindingly bright red energy.
A thin red line of energy bisects the panel as the hero's strike hits its target. A close-up of the maiden's face shows her shock as the red energy blade descends.
Luo Shi lands on the snowy floor after delivering a powerful and decisive energy strike.
Luoxi reasons that although she cannot be killed, his attack will prevent her interference.
Luoxi worries about his teammates, noting the top floor boss is even stronger than Maiden.
A massive dark fist belonging to the Frozen Calamity boss strikes forward with overwhelming power.
The boss moves with incredible speed, leaving streaks of motion in the freezing basement air.
Lu Mao is blasted backward by the impact, gasping for air as he takes damage.
Lu Mao realizes the boss's agility is too high for him to keep up with.
Lu Mao reflects on the massive gap between his own world ranking and Lu Shi's strength.
Liu Mao concludes there is a gap like heaven and earth between their respective combat levels.
Wu Ri blocks a massive punch from the boss to protect her struggling down teammate.
Wu Ru urges Liu Mao to stand up and keep their promise to hold out.
The Frozen Calamity boss grabs Wu Ri by the throat and lifts her into the air. Liu Mao prepares to strike, shouting the name of the 8 Trigram Palm's third comb.
A brilliant burst of energy erupts as the martial artist unleashes his specialized attack.
The golden energy surges forward, filling the dark corridor with a blinding light.
A massive impact occurs as the energy strike connects with the target in a flash.
The Frozen Calamity boss is knocked to the floor by the sheer force of the blow.
Wu Ru calls out to Liu Mao, who vows not to give up despite the massive gap between his and Luo Shi's strength. A status window confirms he has entered the 8 Trigram Palm enraged state, granting him strength and mana boosts. Liu Mao realizes he can now utilize energy-infused techniques to perform ranged strikes against his enemy.
The blue monster roars and lunges at Liu Mao as he struggles to maintain his stance.
Liu Mao stares defiantly at the beast, warning it not to underestimate his determination.
A violent explosion of force rocks the chamber as Liu Mao counters the monster's attack.
Executing multiple swift palm strikes, Liu Mao focuses his energy into a series of ranged attacks.
Concentrated bursts of power slam into the boss, creating a series of bright, energetic explosions.
Standing firm, Liu Mao observes that his father's special power discharge technique is proving useful.
A flashback reveals Liu Mao's father instructing him that the 8 Trigram Palm is more than just a technique for close-quarters combat.
His father explains that mastering the true essence of the palm allows a martial artist to strike enemies from a distance using concentrated force.
Liu Mao admits he has not fully mastered this power release method, as a status window shows 2 minutes remaining in his enraged state.
Liu Mao focuses on the battle, noting that his current power-up will only last 3 minutes.
The Frozen Calamity boss lets out a deafening roar of rage after being pelted with energy.
With a burst of speed, the monster charges toward the exhausted martial artist.
Liu Mao observes the boss's wounds healing and concludes it cannot be killed, resolving to stall the creature to buy time for others.
Desperate to buy time, Liu Mao gathers golden energy in his hands for another strike.
The boss roars while Liu Mao realizes the monster has already adapted to his palm force and cannot be pushed back.
Startled by the monster's terrifying speed, Liu Mao is unable to dodge the incoming assault.
Faced with a hopeless situation, Liu Mao concludes he has no choice but to fight the monster to the death. A powerful blow strikes the ground, creating a shockwave that knocks the martial artist backward.
The massive blue monster looms over Liu Mao, its mouth open in a menacing roar.
Liu Mao falls to the floor as a system notification confirms his stamina is depleted and his enraged state has been forcibly deactivated.
Liu Mao gasps for air, acknowledging that the continuous release of power has drained his stamina to its absolute limit.
Wu Ri groans as she intercedes, wondering if they have finally reached the end of their capabilities against the boss.
A close-up of an eye reflects the terrifying form of the boss closing in.
Multiple gunshots ring out as a 6-shot revolver is fired at the massive creature. Bullets strike the monster's back, providing a momentary distraction while Wu Ri and Liu Mao regroup. Wu Ri aims her revolver, explaining the weapon card was meant for Ashi, but saving Liu Mao is more important. Wu Ri believes Ashi would agree with her decision as a system window displays the revolver's rarity and precision-based stats. Liu Mao wonders if she obtained the weapon card while clearing monsters, having not noticed when she acquired the item.
The Frozen Calamity boss turns its attention toward the girl, letting out another furious roar.
Wu Ri vows to hold out with Liu Mao until Ashi arrives while firing her newly revealed gun at the boss. Liu Mao warns Wu Ri to stop fighting head-on and run, explaining the boss adapts to damage and cannot be killed. Wu Ri cries out in shock as the monster's massive hand lunges forward and slams her against the floor. Wu Ri grinds her teeth in pain, struggling against the overwhelming strength of the boss's grip. Demanding the monster put her down, Wu Ri fires her revolver repeatedly into its arm at point-blank range.
The monster hurls Wu Ri away, leading Liu Mao to shout her name in fear as she hits the ground.
Wu Ri admits the monster is too strong and concludes that the two of them are no match for its power.
A system notification warns of the impending frozen breath skill as the boss charges its attack. Liu Mao watches the boss charge its final blow, realizing that a direct hit will result in both of their deaths.
Wu Ri sighs about her many regrets, leading Liu Mao to ask if she truly has regrets left in her life.
Wu Ri confesses her only regret is not dying with Ashi just before the room is rocked by a sudden impact.
Sharp red energy slashes cut through the air, neutralizing the boss's lethal frozen breath.
Luo Shi reappears, apologizing for the delay caused by an unexpected situation as he finally arrives to save his struggling teammates.
Overwhelmed with relief, the teammates watch as Luo Shi prepares to finish the boss with his blade. Luo Shi notes how close they came to death before declaring the clear conditions met while the Shade Maiden continues her bloodthirsty laughter.
A monstrous clawed hand reaches through the freezing air as the battle atmosphere shifts. The two monsters recoil in sudden pain as their hostile energy begins to waver.
A system notification confirms a hidden clear condition and a reunion have been achieved.
The maiden's gaze softens as the icy corruption begins to fade from her purple eyes.
The frozen calamity monster stares ahead as its monstrous features begin to dissolve into light.
A system window announces that the meeting of the bosses has triggered a cutscene.
Radiant white energy envelopes the two monsters, replacing their terrifying forms with human silhouettes. The silver-haired girl cries out for her father while the man tearfully recognizes his child.
Reunited at last, the father and daughter share a heartfelt embrace within a warm light.
A final system notification declares the ending achieved, implanting tragic memories into the players.
Wu Ri remarks on the tragic father-daughter story while Liu Mao vows to find the puppeteer.
Standing amidst the falling snow, the team reflects on the bittersweet conclusion of the encounter.
Luoxi pauses as an uneasy feeling washes over him, questioning the current situation.
Luoxi questions the mission's timing while a massive red eye watches them with displeasure.
A colossal dark shadow looms over the trio as an ominous presence fills the room.
Wu Ri asks what the creature is as a mission prompt announces the scout's descent.
The shadowy figure descends, its dark form blotting out the light in the frozen basement.
The dark entity mocks the humans' ignorance, claiming they must perform to satisfy the gods. A close-up of the entity's red eye reveals its intent to start a true performance.
The chained shadow entity announces the show begins while Wu Ri and Liu Mao scream.
Massive chains slam into the floor, narrowly missing the huddling teammates as the room shakes. Forced back into their monstrous states, the frozen Calamity and Shade Maiden reappear with roars. The monsters let out a blood-curdling howl as the dark entity's power corrupts them again.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao react in horror as the peaceful spirits turn back into monsters.
Two small animals, a dog and a cat, scramble away in terror from the entity.
The dark entity commands the group to entertain the Divine Lord as it lunges forward.
Liu Mao shouts his refusal to let the creature turn the innocent souls back into monsters.
Luoxi intercepts the incoming attack with his blade while Wu Rui watches him in shock.
The entity recognizes Luo Shi as the meddler and expresses its deep hatred for the gods.
Luoxi observes the entity's lack of stats, noting it is not even marked as hostile.
The dark entity commands the two monsters to kill the anomaly as they charge Luo Shi.
Luo Shi orders his teammates to take the animals and get to safety immediately. Luo Shi gathers intense red energy around his sword, preparing for a high-speed counterattack.
With a burst of speed, Luo Shi unleashes a massive horizontal slash against the two bosses. A blinding explosion of red energy fills the corridor as the hero strike connects.
The powerful shockwave from Luo Shi's blade tears through the room, knocking the monsters back.
Luo Shi determines that since they cannot die, he must incapacitate them to buy time.
System bars appear, showing the bosses have lost health as they struggle to stay upright.
Luo Shi keeps a sharp eye on the monsters, waiting for their next predictable move.
A system update initiates Phase 2, ordering the heroes to extinguish the boss's souls. The dark entity explains that killing the monsters now will permanently destroy their eternal souls.
The entity claims killing them is ethical since they offered their souls to the gods.
The shadowy creature stares directly at the hero, calling him the anomalous player with a grin.
Luoxi glares back at the taunting entity, fueled by a deep sense of loathing.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao demand to know why the entity is treating human lives so cruelly.
The shadowy creature laughs, explaining that all this suffering is merely entertainment for the gods.
Pointing upward, the entity claims the gods are watching their performance from the sky.
Wu Ri fires her revolver at the creature, demanding it end the cruel mission immediately.
The dark entity catches the bullet with 2 fingers, claiming such weak attacks cannot hurt it.
Liu Mao realizes the monster's power is immeasurable, noting its lack of a level indicator.
Luo Shi is shocked that the entity caught a bullet with its bare hand.
The two corrupted bosses roar as they resume their relentless assault on the team.
Luo Shi swings his blade, clashing with the massive forms of the two monsters.
Luo Shi hesitates to kill, fearing he will destroy the innocent souls trapped inside.
Luoxi remembers the happy father and daughter before they were turned into monsters.
A surge of energy hits the ground, creating a bright flash in the hallway.
Luo Shi stares in shock as he notices an unexpected reaction from the boss.
Tears stream down the face of the frozen calamity boss during the battle. Seeing the monster crying, Luo Shi realizes the souls inside are still conscious.
The spirits of the father and daughter plead with Luo Shi to end their lives.
Luo Xi is overwhelmed as he hears the desperate voices of the two souls.
The daughter's spirit begs to be released from the misery of her monstrous form. The father's spirit cries out for an end to their endless cycle of suffering.
The blue monster roars in pain, its actions forced by the dark entity's corruption.
Luo Shi dodges a strike while the souls continue to beg for a merciful death.
The glowing spirit of the girl weeps, unable to bear the agony any longer.
The Shade Maiden lets out a piercing scream as the corruption takes full control.
The dark entity mocks their suffering, claiming their agony is entertainment for the gods.
The shadow creature laughs, explaining that the gods find pleasure in such cruelty and evil.
Luo Xi promises to free the souls after punishing the one toying with them.
Intense red energy erupts from Luo Xi's sword as he prepares a devastating strike.
Luo Xi vows to punish the dark entity for its heartless treatment of the souls.
Luo Xi's eyes glow with a murderous red light as he focuses on his target.
The entity panics, reminding the human that it is merely a scout for the gods.
A powerful slash of red energy tears through the air toward the shadowy scout. The dark entity is sliced in two by the incredible force of Luo Xi's attack. The severed parts of the entity express disbelief at being defeated by a human.
Luo Xi declares his intent to eventually hunt down and kill the gods themselves.
The remains of the dark entity begin to disintegrate under the pressure of the attack.
Luo Xi tells the entity to wait for its masters in the depths of hell.
A massive pillar of red energy consumes the entity, erasing it from existence. A close-up reveals the scout's eye widening in terror as the explosion erupts.
The dark entity desperately begs the gods for salvation as it is incinerated.
The red energy explosion expands, filling the entire corridor with blinding light.
A final wave of energy clears the room, leaving nothing of the shadowy scout.
The entity's voice fades as it curses the human for ruining its performance. The blast concludes, marking the total defeat of the god scout by Luo Shi.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao celebrate Luo Xi's victory, holding the animals close. Luo Shi remains alert, sensing a much more powerful presence emerging from the shadows. A colossal demonic figure appears, mocking the scout for being defeated by a human.
The massive demon declares that the human has finally managed to make it furious.
Wu Ri and Liu Mao struggle to breathe under the crushing pressure of the demon. Luo Shi stares down the new arrival, asking if it intends to fight them next. The demon explains it cannot attack yet due to the rules of the gods. The demon promises to take Luo Shi's head and demands a better performance later. The demon vanishes into a rift, leaving the heroes exhausted on the floor.
Liu Mao and Wu Ri recover their breath, terrified by the demon's overwhelming power.
Luo Shi observes that the evil gods have sent a chosen emissary to the stage.
A giant red eye watches from the void, sensing the approach of something new.
Luo Shi resolves to reach the true ending and destroy the evil gods for good.
Facing the two monsters, the hero stands ready for the final confrontation in the snow.
The corrupted monsters let out a blood-curdling roar as they prepare to continue their assault.
The spirits thank him for vengeance and beg for freedom, which Luo Shi calmly grants. Red lightning crackles around the hero's sword as he channels a final surge of power.
A brilliant flash of energy erupts as the hero delivers a crushing blow to the maiden.
Luo Xi promises to end their suffering with the least amount of pain as he strikes.
A single, powerful horizontal slash of red energy tears through the dark, frozen basement air.
The devastating attack connects, slicing through the two monstrous forms with overwhelming force and precision.
Light envelops the monsters as they dissolve, returning to their original, peaceful human forms once more.
Restored to their human forms, the father and daughter spirits express their final, heartfelt gratitude.
The father's spirit looks upward with a peaceful expression, finally relieved of his long suffering.
The daughter's spirit smells brightly amidst the fading light, finding peace at the very end.
Luo Xi bids the departing spirits farewell, wishing them happiness in their next lives together.
Golden particles drift away from the hero's feet as the souls depart for the afterlife.
Liu Mao observes that the struggle is over while Wu Ru reflects on the ending.
The two small animals glow with the same golden light as they begin their own ascension. Liu Mao and Wu Ri call out to the animals as they float into the air.
The dog and cat let out a final bark and meow before vanishing into light.
Wu Ru shouts a final well-wish to the ascending souls, hoping for their future happiness.
Liu Mao waves goodbye to the little spirits as they disappear into the snowy void above.
Only faint trails of golden light remain in the empty, cold room after the spirits depart.
A system window confirms that the D-rank stage has been cleared and rewards are coming. Luo Shi notes that the stage is finished and the environment is beginning to collapse. A notification details the base rewards and explains that stage gains persist in reality. The surrounding walls and floor begin to disintegrate into a digital blue-tinted void.
Far away from the main group, another set of survivors struggles in the freezing cold.
Exhausted players lie in the snow, barely clinging to life as the harsh environment takes hold.
The freezing players question the stage's difficulty and fear they will all succumb to death.
A bandage-wrapped monster with glowing purple eyes roars as it hunts the surviving players. The players flee in terror, wondering how the top-ranked player handles such a deadly location.
The red-haired leader trips over a shard of ice, leaving himself vulnerable to the beast.
His teammates cry out in horror as their leader falls face-first onto the frozen ground.
The monster lunges as the red-haired man laments his failure to become the world's best.
A system prompt suddenly appears before the fallen man, announcing that the stage is cleared.
The red-haired player stares in utter disbelief at the sudden notification of their survival.
The surviving players celebrate their unexpected victory while wondering who managed to clear the stage.
A ranking window displays Luo Shi as the primary contributor with an overwhelming 82% score.
The survivors are stunned by the leader's contribution and relieved to receive their small share.
A detailed breakdown of the D-rank reward card shows a boost to all primary character stats.
Liu Mao and Wu Ru celebrate the significant stat boost provided by the high-rank reward cards.
System windows display the updated character stats and weapon skills for both Wu Ri and Liu Mao.
Luoxi explains that the true rewards for the encounter are only just beginning to calculate.
Wu Ri complains about useless mana cards, while Liu Mao questions the purpose of his new gloves.
A window explains that the Martial Master's gloves offer a chance to deal double damage.
Liu Mao is impressed by the gloves' potential to end a fight with a single blow.
Liao Mao and Wu Ri ask what rewards the hero received for his massive contribution.
Luo Shi reveals he receives some points and a single fragment of a high-tier card.
The hero shows off the small glowing fragment, noting it belongs to an S-rank card.
A system notification confirms Luo Shi's massive global contribution score and his rare fragment reward.
His teammates are confused by the seemingly small reward despite the hero's incredible performance.
Lu Shi holds a glowing orange reward card, acknowledging that its value is far greater than it looks.
A cosmic display reveals that only 15 S-rank cards exist within the entirety of the Prison Day game.
The hero reflects on the brutal price he once paid to obtain the powerful S-rank reverse time card.
Luoxi examines an S-rank fragment, noting that the game's rules remain fair despite their divine origin. Depositing the fragment into his inventory, the hero vows to use it to destroy the malicious evil gods.
As the global rankings appear, Wu Ri is overjoyed to see her own name listed among the contributors.
Qingzai observes the tight competition in the rankings, noting that many players are currently tied for their positions.
Luoxi explains that he shared his strategy guides to foster a stronger generation of experts for humanity.
The hero declares that his ultimate goal is saving the world, requiring as many strong companions as possible.
A massive demonic eye looms over a ruined city as Luo Shi emphasizes the scale of the crisis.
Luoxi urges his allies to abandon personal interests and focus entirely on the survival of the human race.
The hero's words leave his companions stunned, their expressions filled with a mix of awe and newfound resolve.
Qingzai admits his narrow-mindedness while Wu Rui pledges her full support for the upcoming struggle for human survival.
Preparing to return to the physical world, Luo Shi bids a final farewell to his comrades for now.
The two companions smile as they begin to pixelate, signaling their successful exit from the digital game world.
Back in reality, the hero's mother pauses her chores, looking startled as she senses a sudden change.
The mother is filled with relief and joy upon seeing that her son has finally woken up.
Luoxi confirms his return with a simple nod, acknowledging his mother's presence in the quiet living room.
Seeing Qingzai unconscious with his gear, Lua realizes that physical items cannot be brought into the game.
The hero's mother offers to prepare a meal for him, noticing how hungry her son must be.
Luoxi is relieved to see that his mother has adjusted well to the current world-altering circumstances.
A system window congratulates the hero for securing first place again, announcing the distribution of his extra rewards.
The hero remains silent as he waits for the system to process his latest achievement and reward.
Luoxi realizes that the system is issuing rewards early because his current lead has become mathematically unbeatable.
A dark, surging energy manifests before the hero, catching him off guard as it begins to take shape.
Violent swirls of purple and black aura coalesce into a solid rectangular object floating in the air.
Luoxi is surprised to recognize the dark object as a rare and powerful job change part.
A system window details the Rank A Shadow Mage Apprentice class, a rare dark element magic specialty.
The hero recalls that this specific job class caused a massive sensation during his previous life cycle.
A vision depicts the absolute devastation a fully developed Archmage of Darkness once inflicted upon a major city.
Luoxi acknowledges the class's potential for destruction, but recognizes its power is essential for the future.
Realizing he cannot use it himself, the hero resolves to find a worthy owner for the dark power. The mother returns to the room, happily announcing that she has prepared the hero's favorite bowl of noodles.
Luoxi offers a genuine smile and thanks his mother for the meal as he takes the bowl.
As they sit together, the hero enjoys the food while his mother watches over him with affection.
The quiet moment is suddenly interrupted by the sound of loud, frantic pounding coming from the front door. A hand quickly grips the handle and pushes the door open, cutting through the silence of the house.
Wu Ri rushes into the room looking desperate as the hero's mother asks what has happened to her.
Luo Shi looks up from his meal, startled by his companion's sudden and highly emotional appearance.
Distraught and tearful, the girl asks why both of her parents have suddenly fallen into deep comas. The hero maintains a grim and serious expression as he listens to the girl's desperate plea for help. Wu Ri envisions her parents in hospital beds, frantically asking if there is any possible way to save them. Luo tries to soothe the girl, explaining that there are currently no known conventional cures for their state. The hero reflects on the S-rank Freedom Card, the only item capable of releasing a soul from the game. A grim reminder shows that those who die in-game face permanent comas followed by inevitable physical organ failure. With tears streaming down her face, Wu Ri begs to know if there is truly no hope left.
Luo remains momentarily silent, weighing the consequences of the desperate plan forming in his mind.
The hero decides that granting Wu Ri the power of the Shadow Mage is her only path forward. Luo Shi tells the girl there is a way, causing her to look at him with sudden, desperate hope.
Pulling the dark job card from his pocket, the hero tells her to use it to become stronger.
Luo promises that once he is strong enough to kill the game's creators, everyone will finally wake up.
The title screen shows the hero wielding a glowing blade amidst a digital blue-tinted void.
Wu Ru holds the card, asking if using the item will truly make her become much stronger.
Luoxi confirms her strength will grow but warns there is a serious risk of losing her mind. Narration warns that failing to overcome the negative effects will cause a person to lose themselves.
Luoxi warns she could become a tool for evil gods, while Wu Rui questions the card's side effects.
Lu explains that evil god gifts harbor malice, bringing both opportunities for growth and deep despair.
Narration reveals that a sliver of the evil god's consciousness lies hidden within every job change card. Narration emphasizes that a successful job change requires mentally overcoming the impact of the hidden evil consciousness.
Narration warns the sliver of consciousness is strong enough to completely shatter a human's insignificant mind.
Narration describes how the victim eventually transforms into a mindless follower controlled by the evil god's will.
Luo Shi reflects on the reason why he was not affected by the malicious influence earlier.
The narrative pause emphasizes that the secret to his resistance lies deep within his own heart. Luo Shi recalls his past life, where his heart was tempered into steel through immense suffering. He remembers how that experience forged his singular, unwavering will to defeat the evil gods.
A close-up of Luo Shi's eyes shows his intense focus and determination to finish his mission. Wu Ri resolves to gain power to wake her parents and prevent others from falling into comas.
Wu Ri declares her understanding and willingness to attempt the dangerous job change process.
Wu Ri's hand grabs Lu Shi's arm, urgently demanding that he give the card to her.
Wu Ri's mother warns her daughter against being impulsive, noting her parents would never allow this.
Wu Ri explains that her love for family matches Luo Shi's, justifying her decision to take risks.
Wu Ri's mother stares in silent shock at her daughter's sudden display of maturity and resolve. The mother gives her blessing for the attempt while Wu Ri prepares to begin the ritual.
Wu Ri asks Lu Shi to kill her without hesitation if she turns into a monster. A system notification appears on a blue background announcing that the Shadow Mage Apprentice job change is beginning.
Dark energy swirls around Wu Ri as she tells Lu Shi that she is counting on him.
Luoxi questions how he could ever kill her without hesitation as the dark shadows intensify. In a vision, a monster looms over them while Wu Ri screams for Lu Shi to escape.
Lu Shi vows to bring her back safe and sound no matter what form she takes.
Dark corruption begins to creep over Wu Ru's face as the mental invasion takes its hold. Wu Ri screams in immense agony as the shadows completely envelop her during the transition. The room shakes as Wu Ri collapses, her body writhing under the pressure of the dark energy.
Wu Ri's mother frantically asks Luo Shi what is happening to her daughter during the ritual.
Luoxi tells the mother to leave and not let anyone in unless he gives a response.
Luo Shi realizes the evil god is invading her mind and searches for a mental type skill. The narrative takes a sharp turn as a new possibility for saving her finally presents itself. Luo Shi calls out to the mental entity dwelling inside his own body for immediate assistance.
A blue speech bubble from the shadows confirms the entity's presence, claiming they are everywhere. The dark silhouette of the entity within Luo Shi becomes visible against the blue-tinted darkness.
Luoxi requests entry into the girl's mental world, but the entity says it cannot enter alone.
The shadow creature warns Luo Shi that he will die if he fails to defeat the invader. Luo Shi asserts that he will not die and is confident that he will definitely win. The entity praises his resolve and challenges him to handle this small fry to prove his worth.
A powerful stream of blue energy erupts from Luo Shi's chest to initiate the mental link. The blue energy connects to the corrupted girl, establishing a bridge between their two consciousnesses.
Luoxi commands the evil god's consciousness to leave his comrade alone as he focuses.
Luo Shi closes his eyes, allowing the blue aura to surge as he begins the mental transition.
A massive pillar of white light shoots from the floor, marking Luo Shi's departure into her mind.
Luo Shi confirms he has successfully arrived within Wu Ri's mental world, observing the shifting clouds.
Floating in the gray, cloudy expanse, Luo Shi begins his search for the source of the corruption.
Lu Shi spots a line of mysterious, shadowy figures standing in the distance across a cloudy void.
The hero questions if the distant faint spirit represents his comrade's soul trapped in this mental world.
Luo Shi watches two versions of Wu Ri fight shadows, wondering why there are two of her.
A massive shadow with glowing purple eyes demands the intruder prove their worth to gain power. The giant entity orders the girl to survive the relentless attacks of the Shadow Apprentices.
The looming darkness promises acknowledgement only if the challenger manages to defeat the gathered minions.
Surrounded, one Wu Ri notes the growing enemy numbers while the other vows to win for family. Terrifying shadow monsters with glowing eyes lunge forward to attack the two versions of the girl.
3 ominous purple orbs of dark energy converge on the location of the two girls.
A violent explosion of dark energy erupts as the shadow orbs strike their intended targets.
One Wu Ri warns against taking direct hits while the other prepares to return fire with her gun.
They feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of shadow minions closing in on their position.
A sudden voice calls out from the darkness, promising immediate assistance to the struggling girls.
A massive, glowing beam of blue, lightning-charged energy slices through the ranks of shadow monsters.
Both versions of the girl look up in stunned disbelief at the sudden and powerful intervention.
Lu explains he cannot hurt the illusions and tells the girls to handle them alone.
The hero clarifies he will focus his efforts on defeating the evil god's lingering consciousness.
Sharp lines of white and red energy cut through the dark atmosphere of the mental realm. Luo Shi slashes through multiple shadow figures at once with his powerful, lightning-infused blade.
The hero vows to prevent his comrade's corruption in this life as he focuses his gaze.
Luo Shi continues his aggressive assault, declaring that the dark forces will not succeed today. Beams of white light cross the dark void as the hero's speed creates afterimages of his blade. The girls are shocked by Ashi's sudden appearance and his overwhelming display of power.
One girl suggests leaving the minions to the hero so they can focus on their primary targets.
A massive vortex of dark energy begins to gather as the shadow mages prepare a counterattack.
Trails of dark energy whip through the air as the intensity of the mental battle increases.
One Wu Ri warns that another dark orb attack is approaching and prepares to defend herself. Violent motion lines signify the rapid movement of the incoming dark energy projectiles. A huge dark orb looms over one of the girls as she is told to dodge.
The girl is horrified to discover that the dark orbs possess a dangerous, devouring effect.
The two versions of the girl embrace, realizing the new job class is truly formidable.
They execute a coordinated landing together as a plume of dust rises from the ground.
Numerous dark orbs suddenly manifest in the air, surrounding the girls from all directions.
Spikes of dark energy erupt as the girl fires her gun to ward off the shadows.
One form of the girl notes the different ways the orbs can execute their attacks.
The girl in the dress fires her revolver, asserting they must fight back aggressively.
Muzzle flashes illuminate the darkness as bullets strike the silhouettes of the approaching shadow mages.
A system window shows the enemy's health at 85%, shocking the girl with their high defense.
They coordinate their roles, with one focusing on dodging while the other handles all offensive actions. From a distance, the two girls look tiny amidst a field of numerous hovering purple orbs.
The girl focuses, realizing that physical limitations and stamina in this space mirror reality exactly.
A system window explains that the gun-type weapon trait consumes the user's stamina for automatic loading.
Both versions of the girl stand ready, determined to seize every opportunity to secure a victory.
Luo Shi observes the shadows circling him, noting they are too afraid to charge forward. The hero decides to take the initiative if the dark entities refuse to make their move.
Luo Shi charges forward with his lightning sword, causing the surrounding shadows to react in alarm.
The shadow entities retreat in fear as the hero's powerful aura begins to overwhelm them.
Sharp motion lines track the hero's rapid movements across the dark, cloudy landscape.
A dark silhouette drifts through the void as the battle reaches its peak intensity.
Luo declares that running is futile and sentences the evil lords to death.
Brilliant beams of white light pierce through the void, slicing apart the core of the shadow.
Luo Shi looks on in confusion as he senses a strange presence within the dark realm.
A monstrous shadow with glowing purple eyes and a jagged maw shrieks at the hero.
Luo Shi notes that even a sliver of an evil lord's consciousness shouldn't be this weak.
The massive entity lets out a deafening roar as the darkness around it begins to fracture. Lu Shi unleashes a flurry of sword strikes, creating multiple arcs of brilliant blue energy.
A close-up reveals Luo Shi's eyes glowing with a fierce red-tinted intensity.
Charging forward, the hero declares that the enemy's relative weakness is irrelevant to their impending defeat.
The giant purple eye of the entity widens in shock as Lu Shi closes the distance.
Raising his sword high, the hero prepares to deliver a finishing blow to the dark consciousness.
Luo Shi delivers a devastating vertical slash, shouting that the enemy's power makes no difference.
A blinding pillar of light erupts as the sword strike completely obliterates the shadow monster.
A distorted, colorful speech bubble manifests in the void, offering praise for the hero's performance.
The mysterious entity commends his work and urges the survivor to keep fighting for their sanity.
Luo Shi wonders whose voice he is hearing before realizing it isn't a voice at all.
He perceives the communication as an alien electromagnetic wave that transcends known human language systems.
The hero understands the message is being converted directly into a language his mind can process. The fading shadows reveal they have been consumed by evil lords and offer their final strength.
Luo Shi realizes S-rank cards are remnants of resistance from civilizations already devoured by evil lords. He concludes that these entities were once intelligent beings from worlds destroyed in the distant past.
A vision shows Earth being slowly enveloped by the reaching, dark claws of space-borne corruption.
Luo Shi reevaluates his belief that S-rank cards were merely tools for the Lord's sadistic pleasure.
The hero vows to seize the final opportunity left behind by the fallen civilizations.
Standing firm, Luo Shi challenges the observers from the depths of space to watch his progress.
He declares that this planet will become a burial ground for the lords who caused tragedy.
As the dark consciousness vanishes, Luo Shi feels his own presence in the mental world dissipating.
Below, the two versions of the girl watch as the lingering shadows begin to drift away.
Luo Shi tells the two girls that they are capable of handling the remaining illusions themselves.
The girls are stunned by his departure and impressed by how easily he cleared the corruption.
Before vanishing, Luo Shi tells them to focus on the job change while he waits.
The two girls realize they must keep their dual nature a secret from the hero.
They agree to perfectly disguise their shared identity once they return to the physical world.
A dark, swirling vortex of energy marks the final stage of the girls' mental trial. They resolve to finish the process and become Shadow Mage apprentices to save their parents.
Moving in perfect unison, the two versions of the girl charge toward the final dark core.
Luo Shi offers a final word of encouragement to his comrade as he leaves her mind.
He hopes she becomes a reliable comrade on the path to conquering the evil lords.
A vibrant display of blue and white energy surrounds the hero as he prepares to wake. The mother watches over the hero, worrying despite how dependable he has recently become.
She reflects on how the recent world-changing events have moved far beyond anything considered normal.
Reports show masses of people in comas while others turn violent and attack people publicly.
The mother recalls her own nightmares of hook-wielding monsters hunting people through a dark carnival.
Looking at the unconscious pair, the mother prays for the safety of her children and friends.
A thought bubble confirms that the mother realizes the hero has returned to his body.
Dark energy continues to pulse around the girl as her physical body undergoes its final transition.
Luo Shi observes the girl's stabilizing condition, confident that she will succeed in her job change.
A violent surge of shadows erupts as the girl reaches the climax of her power awakening.
Luo Shi smiles with satisfaction, seeing that the risky mental intervention has finally yielded results. The girl opens her eyes, which now burn with a sharp, newly awakened power.
A system window officially announces that Wu Ri has successfully completed her job change. A system window confirms that Wu Ri has officially become a Rank A Shadow Mage apprentice.
Wu Ri joyfully tells Ah Shi that she has successfully completed her job class change.
Bowing deeply, Wu Ri expresses her sincere gratitude for his help inside the mental dream.
The silver-haired girl secretly resolves to keep her mysterious dual identity hidden from her companion. Qingzai awakens in a frantic state, screaming the name of the girl who saved him. Luoxi asks what is wrong while Wu Ri watches their friend with great concern.
Startled, Qingzai recognizes Luo Shi and calls out to him in a state of shock.
Qingzai desperately begs Luo Shi to take him back to the previous challenge stage immediately.
Luo Shi explains that the mental stage has vanished completely now that they have returned.
Desperate for hope, Qingzai asks if those who died within the stage can be saved.
Luo Shi reflects on how his friend's current trauma mirrors his tragic past life experiences.
A memory surfaces of the girl who once sacrificed her own life to save Qingzai.
A traumatic flashback depicts the girl falling into flames as Qingzai fruitlessly reaches for her.
Luo Shi realizes he lacks the specific details of what his companion endured in fragments.
The hero worries that giving the wrong advice could lead to his friend's eventual death.
Luo Shi considers pulling his companion into his own stage to spare him from pain. A heavy silence hangs in the air as Luo Shi ponders his next difficult decision. The hero questions if avoiding all pain is truly the right path for his friend. Overcome with guilt, Qingzai breaks down and apologizes to the girl for his failure. Luo Shi acknowledges his own arrogance in trying to control his companion's destiny out of pity.
The hero resolves to defeat the evil gods and end everyone's suffering in this life.
Luo Shi shares the news that the girl who died isn't actually dead in reality.
Hope returns to Qingzai's eyes as he asks if the good news is really true.
A news report on a smartphone confirms that many victims are merely in deep comas.
Qingzai questions the connection between the coma patients and the girl who died in game.
Wu Ri clarifies that dying within the simulation only results in a real-world deep coma.
Realizing she is still alive, Qingzai is told to think more logically next time.
Wu Ri reflects on her own comatose parents and the necessity of clearing the game.
Determined, the girl vows to clear the prison day and take down the final mastermind.
Wu Ri and Qingzai join forces, resolving to defeat the mastermind as a united team.
Luo Shi feels proud seeing his companions fighting with such passion for their loved ones.
A vision compares their current resolve to the absolute despair of their previous lives. The hero realizes that having a drive to protect others creates a new source of hope.
Lu Xi advises his friends to build strength as they are currently lagging far behind.
A system window reveals Yu Qing's level 4 stats and his relatively modest power attributes. Lu Xi notes that his friend gained most of his current power stats for friend.
Qingzai curiously asks Ruri what level she managed to reach after her job change.
A system window reveals Wu Ru is level 9 with vastly superior strength and agility. Shocked by her high level, Qingzai jokes that she could easily defeat him right now. Qingzai wonders about the true extent of Luoxi's power compared to their own levels.
A massive window reveals Luoxi's level 17 stats and his unique mental effect immunity.
Qingzai desperately begs Luoxi to carry him through at least one more game stage. Driven by purpose, Qingzai vows to fight the mastermind until the very end. Luoxi watches his friend, seeing their shared hopes finally align for the future battle.
A community notice page provides details on how to support and commission new series. A credits page thanks the patrons and lists the recruitment needs for the translation team.
Luoxi identifies their true enemies as powerful entities he refers to as evil gods. The hero explains the specific rules that the evil gods must follow within physical reality.
Both companions scream their refusal to surrender, driven by the memories of their lost families. Wu Ri and Qingzai affirm their clear goal of taking down the game's mastermind together.
Luoxi stands before a woman radiating dark energy and intense malicious intent.
Luoxi realizes the woman behind him is finally on the verge of betraying humanity.
At a cafe, the brown-haired woman asks if the hero survived 2 game stages.
Luoxi suspects her eventual corruption while she asks for his true reason for meeting.
While she secretly plots his downfall, Luoxi announces he will join her next game. The hero remains calm and focused while continuing their conversation over a cup of coffee.
Infuriated by his blatant rejection, the woman silently vows to make the hero regret it.
Within a digital space, a companion confirms his success before Luoxi activates his special ability.
A surging pillar of brilliant blue energy completely envelops the hero during his transition.